Test his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Not as warm as yesterday, but comfortable outside with mostly sunny skies and highs in the low 50s. It's a cold overnight low, looking at 28 degrees tonight and then 52 for the high tomorrow. Over the weekend, we're dry for Valentine's Day, but expect a soaker for Sunday.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 375 points to 49,745.
Giveaway, moving in front, scores! Slavkovsky! The giveaway by Lehtinen leads to a Slovakia goal. Juraj Slavkovsky. Now Elias Pettersson moving in, he beats, and is stopped by Clara.
Get it? Something where you can make it.
Oh! Brandon Miller! How do you do?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Thursday, everybody. Max Gorin producing the show again, sitting in for Dennis. 9 minutes, roughly, away from Team USA, taking on Latvia to start up the men's hockey schedule for Team USA. We'll keep you updated on that one. We're going to be solutions guys rather than problems guys today, and much, much more. And with that, we jump right into something we call the Big Three at 3.
Number 1.
Team USA, as I said, about 9 minutes away from scheduled puck drop for the opener for Team USA, first game of the Olympics. With that, we don't have time to get all of the callers like we do for Kane's game for first goal scorer predictions. That's just not something that's in the cards for us right now. Not enough time. But there is time for first goal scorer predictions. I can pass along those from the first goal scorers from everybody here at 99.9 The Fan as we try to battle against each other. I'm too competitive not to have something on the line. But also, I thought I could get a little extra competition, scratch that itch a little bit more today with Max on the show by doing a quick first goal scorer prediction, or actually just goal scorer prediction draft. It's going to be a 3-person draft. Get it? Big 3 at 3. 3-round draft. Yeah, you see what we did there. We thought about it.
Are we doing back and forth, or is this going to be snake format, even though there's only 3 selections?
I'll let you pick. I'll give you. How about this? I don't know. You pick the format, and then we'll figure out who goes first.
It's with so few picks, we can just go back and forth.
All right, so it'll be 1-1-1-1. I am, and I'm holding up. You're just actually. I'll write it down. 1 or 2. If you get it right, you go first. If you get it wrong, you go second.
2.
I wrote down 1. You can see it right there, everybody.
Gosh, obviously 1 would be first.
I mean, of course.
Idiot.
First goal scorer / it's first pick in the goal scorer draft. I'm gonna hedge my bets a little bit here. For first goal scorer that everybody has around here, they went Jake Gensel. Max went Jake Gensel. Adam went Jake Gensel. Victoria went Jake Gensel. I'm going Jake Gensel in round number 1. So no matter what happens, I'm excited. If he doesn't score, I'm happy because y'all got the other one wrong. And if he does score, I'm happy because I got it right.
Well, that's annoying. All right. Well, since you took my first goal scorer prediction, my first goal scorer prediction will be Tage Thompson.
Ooh, going down the line a little bit as far as lines. Down the line.
I feel like the ice time will be pretty evenly spread, except for the line that looks like it's going to be JT Miller, Brock Nelson, and Jack Hughes. If that line's not getting less ice time, I have questions about the deployment by Mike Sullivan.
Well, I've got some questions for Mike Sullivan anyway, but yes, that would also be one. My next pick is actually my first goal scorer prediction as well. Give me Austin Matthews.
That's fair. I will take Matt Boldy.
All right, and my final pick. I had a few here. I wasn't sure they were going to be here. Give me Jack Eichel.
I'm gonna buck the trend. I'm gonna go to the defensive side. I'm gonna take Zach Werenski.
That was one that I was considering. If you would have went Eichel, I probably would have went Werenski. Just remembering what he was at Four Nations. All right, so there you go. We'll be talking trash throughout. Hopefully, I went with Jake Gensel, Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel. Max, give me your team.
Boldy, Tage Thompson, and Zach Werenski.
All right, there you go. That is number 1. And that game starts in about 5 minutes. We'll go to number 2.
Number 2.
This is a heavy Max Gorin day since you're here. The Charlotte Hornets got a win. Back in the win column.
The Charlotte Hornets.
After the fight and the loss ended the nine-game winning streak against the Pistons. They got back in the win column against Atlanta. It was a big day for LaMelo. It was kind of just is it just a normal Hornets win now? You get like 30 from Miller, you get 20-something from LaMelo, another strong day from Con Knipple.
Honestly,
you beat a team, and it's just like ho-hum?
LaMelo scoring that much is a little bit rare. He's kind of worked on, I think, kind of making his game a little bit more complete and contributing to winning all across the floor rather than just scoring.
Took a lot of shots in this one.
Haven't seen him with as many points in most games recently, but he was a nice scoring factor last night. Obviously,
there was there's 4-game suspensions for Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate. How'd they do without him? Had like Kalkbrenner, was he the one that stepped up?
Kalkbrenner, PJ Hall got called back up to the big squad, provided some good minutes. I think he actually had a double-double, his first NBA career double-double. And Grant Williams, I think, had to start, got moved into the starting lineup, but I always love his veteran presence, so I don't mind that one bit. And they got it done. It got a little closer than it should at the end. They were up by double digits like the whole game. They ended up only winning by 3, but we're not going to complain about a win, especially a divisional win like that.
PJ Hall is an all-time, for ACC fans, a good, like, why does no one expect him to be good in the NBA guy? I remember him at Clemson and going, got the height. He's a pretty good positional rebounder. He can shoot a little bit. He's a good passer, and just never got the NBA love. And I'm happy to see him getting some opportunity here, because it really was like, I don't see why not. Not saying he should have been like a lottery pick, but
that's a good two-way guy to have on your team, though, for situations like your starting center getting suspended for 4 games.
Even that, though, like, how is he not on the 10th man on an NBA roster every day? Football, I understand. I played, and I can look at guys and kind of know the difference. Basketball, there's still a handful of players every single year that leave college, and I'm going like, I don't get why not, and they just are rarely given the opportunity. He was one of them, but he actually is earning himself an opportunity. That is number 2. How about number 3?
Number 3.
I have, I'll do the accountability thing, hand up, tap the chest. That's my bad. Yesterday on the show, I realized, and just so you know, like, I do watch the tape, not exactly, but I do listen back occasionally, and I darn sure think about the show, what we did well, what we didn't do well. And one of my big pet peeves when talking about sports, and this goes for when interactions off air I have with other fans, listening to other sports shows, sports television, sports podcasts, is when you're just all problems and no solutions. And I don't want to say they're like permanent problems, but the Triangle College basketball teams didn't have the best last five days, right? Whatever it is. The Duke, I mean, they got the win against Pitt, but for all the reasons yesterday, I gave a bunch of problems with a bunch of issues I had with that win. Carolina, the way they reacted after the Duke win with the Miami loss was rough. NC State got absolutely pulverized by Louisville, and I want to say that yesterday on the show a little bit too negative. And I don't have a problem with the negative as long as you're offering up solutions, right? And this was advice given to me a long time ago in the the professional world, right? Never just go to your boss with a problem. Go to your boss with a problem and 2 or 3 solutions. So they appear as if you're like, don't just go, oh, this bad thing is happening. Go and say, this bad thing's happening. We could do this. We could do that. This would minimize the damage, and I think it would set us up well. It's good advice, right? So yesterday, I was not that. I was Chicken Little. I want to come up with some solutions. And just so everybody knows, at 4:20-ish, 4:25-ish, we are going to dive further into this. Each team, what are the problems? How can they fix it? With the best news being there's plenty of time left in the regular season even, but plenty of time to get these all settled.
And we'll give them some flowers on what they've done well as well.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Because they're 3 good teams.
Three
that
good
will
teams.
all be in the NCAA tournament this year.
And all are in the top 29 when it comes to gambling odds to make the Final Four, with 2 of them significantly higher than that. So I'm going to give you a little taste here. NC State. The problem is you just got smoked by Louisville. The problem is it got away from you, right? The game, you weren't prepared enough for Louisville to come out on fire. And as soon as they did, it was very like, well, okay, we'll see you next game. So my solution is this, and it's one of the hardest things to do in sports. Be less precious with the game plan, right? If a 20% shooter is knocking them down, treat them like a 45% shooter. If your 40% shooter is missing shots, drive to the bucket. Right, get to the free throw line. I do think occasionally they are a little too married to their, what they thought was going to happen, what the scouting report is, and that is just a situation where a little bit of in-game adjustment. You can always go back, right? If you start treating Michael Brown Jr. like a 40% free 3-point shooter, and he shows you that he's not once again, you can always go back, but quicker moves on the adjustments. Duke, the solution, or actually the problem, they haven't been dominant the last 4 games, not nearly as dominant as they have been. I think they're depending too much on Cam Boozer, and especially towards the end part of games. And the solution here is simply, I think you have to force yourself to rip that Band-Aid off. If he gets 2 fouls in the first half, take him out. Right? He's such a good and intelligent high basketball IQ player that John Shire is very comfortable going, two fouls? You're good. Finish out the half. I'm almost like, go from media timeout to media timeout without tell him to put his warm-up on, right? And let everybody else sink or swim on their own, right? Maybe Isaiah Evans rises to the table. Rises to the table. I don't even know if that's a saying. Maybe Gongbo, when healthy, becomes more of a monster down low with a little bit more space. Who knows? But if you don't put yourself in those situations, you won't thrive when maybe he's taken away or he's not finishing late in games. And then finally for Carolina, that Miami game was bad. Okay, and it was a juice issue for me. They didn't bring the energy. So a quick solution to that, I think they need to feed confidence to their players, specifically the ones that played very well at Duke and then didn't play very well at Miami, which might describe everybody, but the Derek Dixons, the Seth Trimbles, the ones that scored a ton or scored more or made big plays and then came up empty against Miami, I need you to tell them, like maybe even point blank, not even with your actions, like words, you're not going to get Kyan Evans, right? Don't worry. We don't have short leashes around here. Go out there, make plays, take chances. If it doesn't work, we'll talk about it. But they played a little like don't worry about it might be the way to go. That is number 3 here on the Big 3 at 3. When we come back, we will keep you updated on Team USA against Latvia. No score as of yet. They're 2 minutes into that one. We're talking men's hockey there. USA leads 1 shot on goal to nothing in that category. So very, very early. We'll keep you updated on that one and more hockey conversations, like a player that would be at the Olympics if his country was at the Olympics. What does Alexander Nikishin's potential contract extension look like? Stick around. February is Heart Health Month, and to learn more, we're joined by Dr. Ashish Patel, an electrophysiologist for WakeMed Heart and Vascular. That is quite a specialty that you have. How does that differ from being a cardiologist?
Great question. Electrophysiology, also known as EP, is a specialty within cardiology. We refocus only on heart rhythm conditions, diagnoses that you may have heard of called AFib, SVT, and even cardiac arrest.
So you specialize in complex arrhythmias?
Really, the terminology is referred to the fact that we provide specialty procedures for these arrhythmias. And as an electrician of the heart, what we will do is sometimes perform procedures like ablation or pacemakers, defibrillators, various types of procedures to help patients.
Does it affect men or women more frequently?
The distribution of AFib is fairly equal both men and women, and it leads to a lot of problems. So we always have patients recommend that they get checked up for AFib.
To learn more, check out WakeMed Heart and Vascular at wakemed.org.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Well, in the effort to be solutions people for the local Triangle basketball teams, the problem just got significantly bigger for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Fire up that breaking news. I will read directly from a report posted 7 minutes ago, updated 4 minutes ago, by Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter. North Carolina freshman star Caleb Wilson has a fracture in his left hand and is out indefinitely, the school announced today. Wilson suffered the injury in the first half of the Tar Heels' loss at Miami on Tuesday. X-rays were taken during the game and were negative, but additional imaging found the fracture. He scored a season-low 12 points in the loss. They had called it, as recently as yesterday, meaning the school, a sprained left wrist. Now the word fracture has been added to it. This is, I mean, you don't want to say worst-case scenario because, like the movie trope, right? Oh, it can't get any worse, then it starts raining. But this is about as bad as it could possibly be for Carolina. Caleb Wilson is not a this isn't Moneyball, right? You don't replace him in the aggregate with funny math equations. His skill set is unique enough that if he's out, he's just out. Like there's no, we'll look to Jaren Stevenson to do what Caleb Wilson can do, because there's not many people on planet Earth, particularly in college basketball, that can do what Caleb Wilson can do. And this makes his effort against Miami even more heroic. Remember yesterday when we were talking about everyone on that team kind of lacking juice, I did say, like, I will give Caleb Wilson the credit for making sure he found a way to go back in that game after they taped up his wrist. Thought it was his wrist. Looks like it's a left hand injury. But he was back out there doing what he could, and fractures, they're not fun. Well, as somebody that has, I've got a plate, 6 screws in this hand. I've broken my thumb 3 times. I've broken most fingers, most knuckles. Right, quarterbacks. When you throw, you come down on helmets a lot. It's not fun to catch a ball, shoot a ball, dribble a ball with a hand or wrist that's hurt. So Caleb Wilson was out there finding a way, and I give him a lot of respect for that. He's a top NBA draft pick, right? If his season is over now, and who knows, they're calling it an indefinite absence. If his season's over now, he's a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. Top 7 at worst.
Gosh, that would be a real gut punch for their.
Fractures you don't know. And, I think it's pretty obvious Caleb Wilson would, push the timeline to get back as soon as possible. By the way, there's a goal for Team USA here. So let's clap it up for old Team USA. Who scored it?
It's like Brady Tkachuk. And there's actually a prediction in our YouTube chat. Tom Hunsberger predicted Brady Tkachuk first goal scorer. So,
Tom,
good call,
way to
Tom.
go.
Way to go.
Did he say Brady?
He did.
Okay, good. Sometimes when there's people with the same last name, you try to wiggle free and say Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk puts USA up over Latvia 1-0 with just about 5 minutes passed in the game thus far. That is nobody in our goal scorer draft. So hopefully plenty more where that came from.
Werenski got an assist though.
That doesn't count. We assists.
Just saying.
Assists against Latvia. We're counting assists. No, goals. Back to this. If you're just tuning in, the breaking news of the past 7 minutes, however long it's been. North Carolina freshman star Caleb Wilson, one of the best players in the country, just named to the Wooden Award Top 20 midseason watch list, which goes to the Player of the Year. Fracture in his left hand is out indefinitely, according to an announcement from the school earlier today, just like I said, moments ago. Gosh, this is brutal. And do you know, like, I don't want to make it out to be, a detriment or an insult to the rest of the team. Caleb Wilson is different, okay? So when he goes out, you look around and you see a team that leans on him for so much. Remember the first half of the Duke game? Their biggest win of the year, vaulted them up in bracketology, and it's the biggest win that they've had this season. The first half, Caleb Wilson was the buoy in the center of a deep and scary ocean. He was the one that was keeping them in that game long enough for the second half where Vasar got going, long enough for the second half where guys like Derek Dixon settled in and could make plays. But it was, by the way, another goal for Team USA. Here we go. Alternating just being really sad about Caleb Wilson and not getting to see him for the next however long, and looking up and seeing another goal for Team USA and going, all right, this is a very strange segment of radio. Do we know who scored this one? I just saw the scoreboard. Quinn Hughes. All right. Nobody had Quinn Hughes either. This is how deep the Team USA is. All right, back to, I feel like I have to keep resetting every time we go to resetting the entire story.
Caleb Wilson is out indefinitely.
He's out indefinitely, exactly.
And that is very bad for Carolina, not in terms of, they're still playing for seeding, right? And they have a game against Pittsburgh at home on Saturday that you'd figure they should be able to take care of business pretty easily without him. If Pittsburgh is no good this year, they should be able to handle business there. But then you got some interesting games coming up. You got a trip to the Lenovo Center next Tuesday to play NC State. And at least one of these teams considers that a rivalry game, so the environment is going to be raucous. And now that you've just, you have to assume out indefinitely with a fractured left hand, he's not coming back in 5 days.
Yes.
I'm assuming based on the language in the release, he will be out at least probably a week or two. So he's probably not playing in that game. And then they have a road trip to Syracuse on Saturday. They just played a crazy game last night there, too. The power went out. They went to double overtime against Cal, and there were no scoreboards. There was just like one small one sitting on the court because all the Jumbotrons' power went out because there was a blackout in Syracuse. That's no easy task to go on the road. That's a quad one opportunity. And then they have their game against Louisville, which There's a big Monday game in Chapel Hill on the 23rd, so you'd hope he'll be back for that because, I mean, that's a big, big game looming there, and you'd like to have your best player, your star freshman available for that one because Louisville, I mean, they just showed it against NC State earlier this week what they can do now that they're at full strength, and with Carolina potentially not going to be at full strength for that one, it's going to throw a wrench in these final couple matchups down the stretch.
Okay, so while Max was talking there, I collected my thoughts here a little bit. The shock of Caleb Wilson being out with the injury, fractured left hand, out indefinitely according to the team. There's a very obvious sign that, or a side of this that needs to be addressed, which is he is potentially a future $100+ million player, right? And the school has to take that into account, meaning Caleb Wilson is a competitor. We saw it in the Miami game. He will tape me up, cut me Mick, I'm going back out there. And Hubert Davis and that coaching staff and that training staff have to make sure they are protecting a very important future for him as a basketball player, which means if there's a question, if it's, well, he could probably go today, but we should wait another week or 2 weeks, you wait, right? That's the responsibility that you have to the basketball player that trusted his career for his one-and-done season in your stewardship. I would imagine fracture indefinitely, those words being used, you're hoping for a postseason return, perhaps, and this is my inference, right? We don't know how bad the fracture is. We know it didn't show up on initial imaging, but it did on additional imaging. So we could perhaps like unnecessarily speculate that it's not the worst break in the world. Perhaps he could be back March 7th against Duke. That would be, whatever it is, about three weeks and change. If that hits, that's huge. That's massive. But if there is an issue there, did they take the goal away?
Yeah, it just got challenged for offside.
All right, so Team USA lost a goal. They're still up 1-0 over Latvia, men's hockey. But going back to Caleb Wilson, the challenge here for UNC is, 7 games ago? They were coming off losing 3 out of 4. They had lost to SMU on the road, beat Wake Forest in a game that was much closer than it should be based on everything we know about Wake, lost at Stanford, lost at Cal, and towards the tail end of that, kind of at the end of the Cal game, they shook up their rotation, right? That's when Derek Dixon started playing more. That's when both Jonathan Powell and Kyan Evans kind of saw their minutes throttled back. Jaron Stevenson had some of his minutes throttled back, although he's been up and down since. They really haven't had that long with the team as situated when they've played their best basketball up until the Miami game to build and learn and establish and get to know chemistry and everything else. I would say during the Duke game, it felt like that was taking leaps and bounds, like they were making progress. But now you go back to not having one of your center points, not having one of your pivot points, your fulcrums that you build around. And even if he can return later in the season, then you are opening up, right? You're getting used to life without him right after you barely got used to the team as it was situated now after those adjustments. Then you're going to get used to life without him. Then you're going to have to readjust to bringing him back in, which, is a problem you'd always address. You'd always, you welcome it, right? Oh, no one's going to complain about getting Caleb Wilson back. But it just I don't know what this team is yet. And I was just feeling like I had an idea, and now you're going to take away one of the most important parts. So, let's say he comes back, ACC tournament, has a mediocre ACC tournament. What do you do if you're the committee? How do you know what this team is, and how do you know which version you're going to get and everything else? It is a really, really tough situation. Their season just got, to use the quote from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just got turned upside down. And they'd probably like to take a minute and just sit right there and collect their thoughts before they decide how to address it moving forward. That Pitt game just became, instead of get the win, bounce back, it became the drawing board that you need to learn as much as you can about life without Caleb Wilson before you play state and you go on to a thicker part of your schedule. Caleb Wilson, again, if you're just tuning in, UNC star freshman, fracture in his left hand, out indefinitely, according to an announcement from the school earlier today. And when I say earlier today, I just mean minutes ago. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending, they know that the unpredictable can happen. They know that tomorrow, despite everything you think, maybe things are going well. Maybe interest rates, mortgage rates, they're inching down, and you're just getting excited. And you're saying, by this time, 6 months from now, they're going to be so much lower. But boom, spike, right? The good news, the bad news can happen at the drop of a hat, right? Oh, they just jumped 3 points. Why didn't you get your mortgage yesterday? I thought it was going to go down. Well, Miller Lending wants you to be able to prepare for everything. So get your mortgage now, a no-cost loan, no closing costs, none of those hidden surcharges, none of those hidden fees, just a no-closing cost loan. Lock in your rate. If they spike tomorrow, well, guess what? You locked it in yesterday. If they fall tomorrow, right, if rates drop 4 points or 1.5 points or a point in the next 6 months, refinance, no cost, no fees, no closing costs yet again. Do that as many times as you need to, as many times as rates keep dropping. That allows you to prepare for the unexpected. The number to call to learn more, ask questions. There's no obligation, no cost. It's a free call. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. I don't want to say this part, but it does appear as if the U.S. gave up a goal. Yep, there you go. So Team USA men's hockey, they scored. It looked like they scored again. It was challenged for offsides. They took it away. So instead of 2-0, it was 1-0. They give up a goal, and now it's 1-1 against Latvia in the opener for Team USA. We'll keep you updated on that, and we'll get to the Dean's List coming up next.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Hey, which way is your waiting room?
Oh, you can stay in your car. It only takes 10 minutes.
I can stay in? Get out. I better find a good playlist to listen to while I wait. EDM? Nah. Oh, what about something classical? Nah. You got any suggestions?
Dad rock?
Now you speaking my language.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
It's back, the Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands, on-site financing to get you approved and on the water, boats in stock and price to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Few things we have to update you on. The last 10 minutes have been kind of rough for us around here for a bunch of reasons, or at least two main reasons. One, it looked like Team USA against Latvia was going to be up 2-0 in their opener of the Olympics. The challenge for offsides ends up taking away the second goal for Team USA, and then Latvia scores almost immediately after, so it's 1-1 in what felt like it should have been 2-0. And on top of that, or even maybe above that as far as how much of a bummer it is, we get the news that North Carolina star freshman, one of the best players point blank in college basketball, Caleb Wilson, has a fracture in his left hand and is out indefinitely. Now, we knew he had hurt something on that left, upper body extremity, right? If we're going full hockey with it, left upper body, even though they don't give you left. But he taped up the left wrist to go back in the game against Miami. Traditionally, you think wrist sprain, something along those lines, and ice and elevation, and he's going to play through it. As soon as the word fracture got added today after additional imaging, he's out indefinitely. Which is just a massive bummer because we don't get these guys on campus very long, right? Caleb Wilson isn't going to be a 3-year, 4-year player at Chapel Hill, right? He's here for not here for a long time, here for a good time, and our good time just got limited a little bit. Hubert Davis is going to have to coach his tail off until Caleb Wilson comes back to make sure the Tar Heels stay in at least a similar position to where they found themselves both in the ACC and nationally. Coming off a tough loss where they didn't look great against Miami. With all that being said, though, we still got to keep the show rolling. It must go on. So here on The Drive on 99.9 The Fan, we jump into the Dean's List. My first Dean's List almost feels mean at this point. I have Carolina and Duke. ESPN PR, their public relations, reported that Saturday's Duke at UNC game, in which UNC won at the buzzer, was ESPN's most watched college men's basketball game in 4 years. 3.5 million average viewers, peaked at around 4.8 million viewers, up 53% from the first Duke-UNC matchup last year. 53% over these two teams a season ago. And guess what? I attribute a lot of that to Caleb Wilson. Because last year, Duke had Cooper Flagg. Duke had Con Knipple. They had future NBA stars just like they do this year. But UNC, and this is no disrespect to some of the guys on that team, they had some very good college players, and Drake Powell ended up being a mid to late first rounder. They didn't have that crown jewel, exciting, can go up against the Cooper Flaggs or the Cam Boozers with hype player. They did this year in Caleb Wilson. And because of that, I believe because of that, right? You never know exactly. The fans wanted to see it, even with the Olympics going on, right? Even with, other sports trying to take away from your attention, they still brought in the most viewers to an ESPN college basketball game in 4 years. All right, we get. Let's pause the Dean's List real quick. Team USA goal, baby. This is tough. We can't do play-by-play for Team USA versus Latvia or really anything in the Olympics because of rights and things. So I have to be very vague until they score, and then I can score update you. What happened there?
Great tip by Brock Nelson out in front.
Brock Nelson, American hero.
Assisted by Favor, which means probably a +1 for Slavin there.
Yep, I would assume so. As you know, the Faber Slavin line was so good at the Four Nations, but if there is a defensive pairing for the United States, that would be it.
No, they're challenging it again.
Goodness gracious. If they take away another, we riot.
For goaltender interference this time.
If they take away another, the fix is in. Although I didn't see the last one. It might have actually been offsides. Do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here as we jump back into the Dean's List?
Yeah, shout out to the Lobos of New Mexico. I love watching some mid-major basketball. West Coast basketball, too, is always fun to watch, like, late at night. When it's like, past midnight, and you're like, oh, there's still a good game on right now. They got a nice win last night, went on the road to Grand Canyon, who also, by the way, has built up quietly like a pretty good program.
They got money.
Yeah, they got moved. They just moved to the Mountain West. They used to be, I believe, in the WAC. Great win for New Mexico. They're right on the bubble. For me, that moved them just on the right side of the bubble. So that for me, they're in right now. But it was a great game to watch. New Mexico Lobos on my Dean's List.
More Dean's List, and this one's close to home for me. Delaware Blue Hen legend, Elena Deladon. Elena is a finalist for the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame of class of 2026, which was announced yesterday. The finalists were men and women's basketball share a Hall of Fame, so she would be going in, shoulder to shoulder with all of the greats that the Michael Jordans, the best of the best, Lisa Leslie's, and she'll be a first ballot. 2-time WNBA MVP. Champion also as well with the Washington Mystics, I believe, and also the best women's basketball player in University of Delaware history. We were on campus at the same time. She was a year older, but she redshirted, so we were on there for the exact same 4. Played a little pickup with her, call every time you're matched up on her. Foul on me, ball up top. Sorry, didn't mean to, because she would give you that work. Multiple 50 burgers in college. 54 against JMU. Eat that, Dukes. We have more here for the Dean's List, but we just don't have time. Too much breaking news. To update you on Team USA once again, they are reviewing the second goal. Actually, they're going to make the announcement right here, so I'll give you the play-by-play from how it happened. They opened the goal scoring. Team USA did with a Brady Tkachuk
And the second
goal.
goal has also been disallowed. Due to
Golly!
goaltender interference.
We riot! Oh, the Latvia fans are excited. Put 8 up. We were only going to score 5. Put 8 up on them just for this.
That one was that was some soft goal. I don't even think that would be a goaltender interference call in the NHL. I mean, he's standing on the edge of the crease.
Well, I will.
JT Miller, yet again, another reason why. Interesting choice to choose him of all the American players that were available to go.
Yeah, we got to talk about that too.
But
okay, so real quickly here, Brady Tkachuk scores. We go up 1-0. It appears as if Quinn Hughes scores to go up 2-0 against Latvia, and then Team USA is cruising where we'll score $1 billion. We'll be respectful about it. They challenge take away goal number 2 due to offsides. So USA, all right, we see we respect the hustle. Brock Nelson scores to go up 2-1 because in mixed in there, Latvia tied it up. And all right, 2-1, cool, let's go ahead and score. They challenge it again. It gets taken away this time for a questionable goalie interference, although I will say even in the NHL, I can never predict whether they're going to uphold or not goalie interference.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on here. So now it's back down to 1-1, and I say blood's in the water. Now light it up. 100 goals.
It's just a handicap to make it close because, I mean, Latvia, they do have a handful of NHLers on their team. They got Zemeckis Girgensons.
100 goals, Max.
Uvis Balinskis, Sandis Villamanis, who actually laid a dirty hit on, I think it might have been Charlie McAvoy right before the Olympic break.
Yeah, his face was all swollen.
I believe that was Villamanis who laid that hit. So hopefully he keeps his head up looking for him on the ice in this game. But yeah, it could be 3-1 at this point. It's 1-1. I'm sure they're going to keep, putting shots on. And they do have Elvis Merzlinkins in net as well, so they do have an NHL quality tandem. They have Seelovs as well, who plays for Pittsburgh now. So they have a little bit handful of talent on this team. It's not like they're like Italy or France.
No, don't be nice. 100 goals, Max.
No, they do need
stink.
to. I mean, the U.S. is clearly better. Like, they just got to, execute better and not goals taken away on these.
Took away the +1 from our guy Jacob
small
Slavin.
mistakes. Yeah, Slavin lost his +1.
100 goals.
What
We'll
a
be back.
shame.
We'll be back after this with more of The Drive. Stick around.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. If you were at Bailey's right now, at their Village District location in Raleigh, you'd be having a heck of a time at their Team USA watch party, at their USA Hockey watch party. I should correct myself. As they take on Latvia, which is going on right now, they are having a fun afternoon celebrating the games, complimentary drinks and snacks, watch try-ons. We're talking about the coolest watches out there, Omegas, pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, Norcanes, which has a close connection with professional hockey and some of their partnerships. It's all happening at Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. If you're out there driving around, you have some time, stop out. The party will be going until 6 p.m., and the store will stay open beyond that. You can grab yourself a drink, try on some of the coolest watches, talk to the expert staff at Bailey's Fine Jewelry and the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. This is an opportunity for you to be amongst like-minded rooters, cheerers for our country's hockey team, and also like-minded watch enthusiasts. A really cool Venn diagram of people there. So stop out, say hi, check out the party, and let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm jealous I can't be there, but you guys can all go have a great time. We'll be back after this with more hockey talk here on The Drive. Stick around.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or price stopped, opt out.
Mom, can we do pizza night tonight? Not this week, sweetie. Payday's not until Friday.
Hey, we don't have to wait. We qualified for up to $750 before payday with Current.
$750? Before payday?
Yep, we set up an eligible payroll deposit and qualified for in advance. No hassle, no credit checks. And with their sign-up bonus, we got an extra $75.
Pizza night!
Need money before payday? Current has you covered with up to $750 in paycheck advances when you set up an eligible payroll deposit. And right now, get a $75 sign-up bonus. Current, the banking app that gives you more for your paycheck. Text SPEND to 323232. That's SPEND to 323232.
Paycheck advance is offered by FineCo Advance LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC-insured bank. Eligibility and available amounts may vary and are subject to change at any time. For full terms and conditions, visit current.com/radio or call 1-888-851-3177 for more information.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Pretty chaotic start to the show here on a Thursday. So let's slow things down and make sure we're all updated. It's time for the WakeMed Winter Games medal count from Italy. This is one that we do throughout the show, throughout the entire Winter Games. The leader in total medals right now from a country perspective is the host country, Italy. They have 16 total medals. Norway comes in second at the moment in total medals with 14, followed up by the United States of America with 13 total medals. Austria, hot on the podium's tail there with 12. Nobody else with more than 9. If you're thinking gold medals are the way to judge things, Norway leads the way with 7. Italy, second with 6 gold medals. And then there's a 4-way tie for third between the United States, Germany, Sweden, and Switzerland. All have 4 gold medals. That's where it stands right now out in Italy. That is the WakeMed Winter Games medal count. Team USA hockey now as we transition to the next part of the show. 1-1 as the first period nears its end. About 3 minutes left. The United States is on still has about a minute left in the power play. 1-1 is not what you expected. United States should be better than Latvia, and if you take away 2 challenges that took away goals, you could say the United States deserves to be up 3-1, but that's not the case. So it's 1-1. They still have a lot of work to do. I hope and anticipate them pouring it on as the game goes along, and they wear Latvia down a little bit. But as it stands right now, it is a tie game with 2.5 minutes left to play in the first period. Also, if you're just tuning in, I said it was kind of a chaotic Thursday. Caleb Wilson, star freshman for the Carolina Tar Heels men's basketball team. School announced today, fractured left hand. He is out indefinitely. That took on a mind of its own, right? Because we saw the injury against Miami. He leaves, goes to the locker room, comes back, it's taped up, goes back in the game, continues playing. After the game, Hubert Davis is asked about it. He acts as if nothing exists. There is no situation. Did it impact him? No, it did not. Not that I noticed. Paraphrasing. Actually, I can give you some of the exact quotes. Really just refused to acknowledge that it even kind of existed at all. Here's a tweet from, Ross Martin. Roughly 6 minutes into the game, he got hurt. Following the game, Tar Heels coach Hubert Davis downplayed the injury. He said,
"You know what? Why don't we hear it from Hubert himself?"
Let's hear it from Hubert. Good job.
It was very quiet there, but he did say there is no situation.
He said, so let just to frame that, right? He was asked about the injury, and the question used some form of, what is his situation? And Hubert Davis's response was, there is no situation. Then when pressed with some facts, like, well, he did have his wrist wrapped up, right? It was taped up. Did that impact things? Not to my knowledge, is the response from Hubert Davis. It's one of the things that coaches do. Hubert Davis for sure does it, but coaches do, which frustrates the heck out of me, which is pretend we didn't see things, or pretend that facts aren't provable, aren't like we all have to agree on certain bases, or else our conversations are just lost in space with no idea of which way is up and which way is down. There is, I've been media trained at a much, 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 much lesser level for being interviewed, but they do tell you don't have to accept the premise of the question. So if someone were to say, your team's playing the worst basketball it's played this year, how do you anticipate the defense getting started? You're 100% allowed to, and within your right, to say, well, I don't think we're playing the worst basketball of the year, right? You don't have to accept the premise of the question. However, if the premise is a fact, you can't pretend it doesn't exist. There is no situation when it came to Caleb Wilson's wrist. That's what he said, or his wrist, hand, whatever, the tape, the injury. There is no situation. Turns out he has a fractured hand and he's out indefinitely. How's that for your situation? How you like them apples? Don't pretend like we didn't watch the game. Right? Don't pretend did it impact him? Not to my knowledge. Well, then we were watching different games. Right? Because I watched and it did impact him. And I don't pretend to know more about basketball than Hubert Davis. I don't. He played in the NBA for a decade plus. He's a legend at Carolina. He's a longtime assistant to Roy Williams. Like, he's forgotten more about basketball than I will ever know. But I know enough to watch a player and go, no, he's hurt. He was a less impactful player with the wrist taped than he was previously. And that could be an opinion of mine from watching it. That could also be 12 points is the lowest he's scored all season, and it's also the only game he finished with his wrist wrapped up. And turns out it is a bigger problem than maybe Hubert Davis was even willing to consider, because now Caleb Wilson is out indefinitely. And they're going to have to find a way to you can't replace him, but to make the impact of his absence as minimal as possible. But there will be an impact. Although I'm sure if you ask Hubert Davis, how does this change your team? He'll say, not to my knowledge. He'll refuse to acknowledge. By the way, John Rothstein, national college basketball reporter, CBS Sports, did say the evaluation process is ongoing to determine a timetable for a return. So not surprising there, but it's still very early in the process. However, sometimes sometimes it's nice to just get a number, right? 3 to 6 weeks, like just something on there. But they apparently do not have that as of yet for one of the best players in the entire country, who's now out with a fractured hand. Left hand, if you had to choose, right? Non-shooting hand, that's the more important one. As a former quarterback, the first question is always throwing hand. You can get away with more on that offhand, but basketball is a little bit different. You need both a little bit more. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Please follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. You can jump in the comments. You heard earlier somebody nailed the first goal scorer prediction for Team USA, picking Brady Tkachuk. Shout out to Tom. That happened in our YouTube live stream comments. So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. You can jump in there, comment, disagree, agree, debate, bring up new points. Anything particularly good you might hear right here live on air. You could contribute to the actual show. With that being said, we have football at 4 coming up next. It is one of the most exciting times of the offseason for the Carolina Panthers. Everyone is optimistic. Next.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam!
The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Lenovo Center, February 21st and February 22nd. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Visit monsterjam.com.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed-rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you. But don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Yeah, temperatures are cooler this afternoon, but that sunshine feels nice out there. We'll see highs in the low 50s, which is near normal. We're below freezing overnight tonight. We drop to 28 under clear skies, and more sunshine for Friday with another high of 52. It's quiet for Valentine's Day, but expect an all-day rain on Sunday.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 671 points today to 49,449. Market update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at all your events to lift everyone's spirits. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Take a break from some Winter Games talk. Take a break from the shock of the Caleb Wilson left hand fracture announcement. Let's talk a little off-season football. I'll always make time. Football at 4. That's why we named it that, to make sure, to guarantee us that we always make time for some pigskin. Today, we're talking mock drafts, okay? We're talking draft, NFL draft, but I want to be clear on this. While we'll mention players, and we're going to look at one specific mock draft that was published, I don't think it's time to talk players. It's time to talk ideas. It's time to talk archetypes, right? You're not talking like let me think of the way to describe this. It's going to you're planning a grocery store trip. You're talking items, not brands, right? Hey, we need bread. Hey, we need cereal. Hey, we need look at that. What do we need? Rather than like, give me Fruit Loops. You know what I mean? It's what you're talking more big picture. Okay, what do we need to complete the pantry and refrigerator situation? So Joe Person of The Athletic put out his mock draft 1.0, right? That's how you know it's early in the offseason, 1.0. And, well, first of all, I'll use a couple of his reactions. The headline was Mock Draft 1.0, Joe Person of The Athletic. One thing is clear, defense will be a priority. His tweet that he put out promoting it said, Panthers mock draft 1.0, an edge rusher, an off-ball linebacker, offensive tackle of the future, and developmental QB. And that's more of the stuff I want to talk about. Rather than the name, what do these names represent as far as what Joe or what you listening or what the team thinks they need to be looking for? So the way the draft went, according to Joe Person for the Panthers, is in the first round, 19th pick, Akeem Mesidor, edge from Miami. Second round, pick 51 overall, Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, Texas. Demetrius Crownover from from Texas A&M, an offensive tackle in the third. And we could go on and on. But again, and by the way, no offense to Joe Person. I think he does a really good job, and I'm sure he researched and talked to people that he knows. You can't know the players you like yet. You might know a player you like. You don't know if you like them more than everyone else at their position that's available. You don't, because, I start earlier than most looking at draft prospects. And unless it's your full-time job, you're a GM or you're like an NFL draft analyst and you don't cover anything else, you aren't responsible for being knowledgeable on anything else, there's no way you've watched enough, you've read enough, you've crunched enough numbers to know everything. Which, by the way, I am nerdy about the draft. We have hit some snags in how we're going to present some of our draft preview stuff for prospects for the Panthers, just about how we can present it best with copyrights.
You want to get
footage.
into the tape breakdown, but the copyrights.
I'm not giving up hope, but we have hit some snags.
Media rights it's a dangerous game.
I haven't given up hope. But yes, we've hit some snags. So I planned on starting like daily after the Super Bowl, but snags. Either way, So what I did is I looked at Joe Person's draft and the names I mentioned and more, right? The Panthers have 7 picks. I looked at them all. I don't care about the players as much as their archetypes, their ideas, right? Players, the names are really just placeholders for the positions and the type of players that they represent. So this is how I broke it down. With the 19th pick in this mock draft, the Carolina Panthers select a productive old edge rusher. Akeem Mesidor has been in college football forever. He played alongside Ruben Bain Jr., and if you watch tape, you might think Mesidor is a better player until you recognize that Ruben Bain Jr. is very young and Mesidor is very old, and that skews things. Go read Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. They'll tell you. So that tells me that in this mock draft from Joe Person, the Panthers are interested in getting an edge rusher that can contribute now. Not an edge rusher who, with some time and development and some adjustment can impact one day. Matter of fact, they got 2 of those last year, right? Nick Scorton and Prince Umanmielen are both players that are young. Nick Scorton was one of the youngest guys in the NFL last year, and they're both, hey, a year or 2 years later, they could be something. Picking Mesidor is a huge pendulum swing from that. In the second round, they picked a super productive do-it-all off-ball linebacker. That is a pick for need if I've ever heard one. It was Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker from Texas, but 48 games at Texas, big games played, a couple of interceptions, a little forced fumble, a little this, a little that, does a little bit of everything. They need that in the middle of their defense. In the third round, they didn't draft in this mock draft Demetrius Crownover. No, they drafted a 6'7", 340-pound former tight end. Like, as a recruit, he was a tight end at offensive tackle, which screams to me that's about as close as you can get to somebody you can trust at left tackle in the third round. Right? You're not going to get one of the guys that is built in a lab and productive and accomplished and experienced, but you might get one of those guys that's built in a lab without the rest of it in the third round. Oh, Ike Ekwonu, maybe not available. This would be the swing for the fences. This would be the if it works. In the fourth round, a safety with 58 starts at Penn State. You're starting to get a type there. They if this is the pick, the Dan Morgan staff like safeties that have played in big games, that have played consistently, that have played a bunch. Whether it's out of the free agency class, a guy like Trevon Merrick that played a whole bunch for the Raiders over the first however many years of his career, and then they paid a good amount to come to Carolina, whether it's Lathan Ransom. I believe he's an Ohio State guy that played in gigantic games for Ohio State, won a national championship. Now you're going to this one, which was Zakee Wheatley. And I apologize if I'm not pronouncing him. I haven't watched tape yet. A safety from Penn State that played in something like 58 games, 58 starts. That's a massive amount of experience in big games, Big Ten, big crowds. Their 2 fifth-round picks, a Toolsy project quarterback in the 5th. I thought that was weird. That's not a guy that'll keep it on the tracks if Bryce Young gets hurt. That's a guy who maybe 3 years from now is one of the more physically gifted in the NFL, but has a lot of work to do. And an undersized speedster wide receiver in Aaron Anderson from LSU. He is a player I have watched. I don't love. I don't know what he brings that Jimmy Horn Jr. doesn't as far as small speed gadget guy. But I guess Joe Person thinks they need another. And then in the 6th round, they took in this mock draft Ephesians Prysock. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Cornerback out of Washington, 6'4" corner. I love that pick. That is just a flyer in the 6th round. There's not many 6'4" cornerbacks out there. You can't be picky at pick 199. So they're just taking a chance there. The reason why I broke it all down the way I did, and some of you may be glazed over going, why are you just naming heights and weights and stuff, is because that's what this part of the offseason is for. Too many people want to jump steps, right? And already right now, who do you think we're going to draft at 19? That's probably like the 3rd most asked question I get right now. One is Brandon Bussey contract. One is, do you think Bryce is the guy? Or 2 is, do you think Bryce is the guy? And 3 is, who are we taking at 19? And I go, well, it's still too early. There's a lot of names. You don't even know who's going to be drafted above you, who might fall. And they glaze over. And they go, yeah, what about Kenyon Sadiq? I really like Sadiq. Do you think Concepcion? I mean, I know it didn't work out at State, but he's a really good player. And I'm going like, whoa, you're throwing names out there? It's too early. What you talk at this point is archetypes, right? And yeah, the first round pick, I do think you go best player available. So then you're just evaluating everybody at every position, and you can't go wrong just picking value at 19. But beyond that, you need to fill out your roster. So yeah, second or third round, I would be very surprised if it's not an offensive tackle of some kind. And if it's second round, you might get somebody that's a bit more accomplished than the player in this draft. But if you go third, you got to draft somebody with measurables, right? If you go third round, you're not going to have great tape as far as, best in the draft, but you might have somebody that's 6'7", 340 and can run. Or vice versa. You might have somebody who's 305, but has great tape, and I don't know if you want that. I wouldn't. I am fascinated by the fact that Joe Person put Taylon Green, the quarterback from Arkansas in the 5th round. He is a player that I've seen people have tried to make him a thing a lot at the NFL, meaning he's put on all these way too early mock drafts, all these lists, all these everything, and then darn near every time once he starts playing, he falls down those lists or off those lists, and it's because he's tall, he's fast, he has a strong arm, although not always the most accurate arm. That's an interesting one, because I think if you're drafting in the 5th, you want somebody that could perhaps this year be a backup for Bryce Young, right? I don't think Andy Dalton's coming back. If you draft a project like that, I think you're bringing in a veteran. So those are the conversations to have. Oh, you think they should draft a quarterback? All right. How high? All right, what are you looking for? What are some of the most important things when it comes to quarterback play? A ton of experience. He has it, but also you want somebody that's a little bit better as far as consistent production over time. That's where I would go. And I do think there's going to be a ton of quarterbacks available in the 5th, because not a lot of guys are going to go day 1, day 2. Are you forcing a Drew Aller pick in the 2nd round? I don't know. I don't think many teams are going to do that. And if he gets pushed down, other good quarterbacks will get pushed down further and further and further. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And I know it's always a joke when what is it? Right after the Super Bowl, Patriots fans go, hey, I just saw the plans for the Patriots next draft. And it's just 7 rounds of taking left tackles over and over and over again because Will Campbell had such a rough Super Bowl. I wouldn't hate it if they darn near did that at edge rusher. If the Panthers have 7 picks and get 3 edge rushers, that sounds ridiculous. I don't think it's that ridiculous. Right, especially if they move on from like a veteran Pat Jones or a DJ Wanham or whatever, if they don't bring some of those guys back. If you have Nick Scorton, you have Prince Umanmielen, and you have 3 dudes that you use some draft capital on, the veterans can be darn near coaches, because I want those young guys out there being dynamic and learning on the job. Got to get a better pass rush. And maybe a Trey Hendrickson, who knows, or a Max Crosby. But then we have significantly less picks to draft because you'll be trading them all away. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Team USA getting ready for the second period. Am I right on that? Almost back out on the ice, getting ready for the second period. 1-1 against Latvia. We'll keep you updated on that one. And in the interest of the games, we'll hit a little cons and cons. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about when it comes to Team USA men's hockey? Maybe concerns growing now that through one period they're tied with Latvia. Stick around. That's coming up next.
It's time to start a new year, maybe make a New Year's resolution, and how about a new drink? I'm Victoria Bodenecker here for Blue Shark Vodka, and it's time to create a new beverage as we kick off a new year. Blue Shark Vodka is the smoothest, cleanest vodka from a family-owned business, which is made locally here in North Carolina. And their handcrafted bottles are sure to catch your eye with their 3D shark swimming around at the bottom. So go check them out at your local ABC store and visit their website for recipes and details at BlueSharkVodka.com.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One thing you need to make sure with your motorcycle that you do is properly store your bike. If you have a garage, obviously keep it in there, but if you can't, make sure you keep it covered. Keep it out of the elements. We got a lot of moisture, got a lot of rain runoff. Take care of your motorcycle, and it will take care of you. But accidents, unfortunately, do happen, and this is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Law Tigers are part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, but most importantly, they know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation is always free with Law Tigers, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So make sure you contact them even before you contact the insurance companies, because insurance companies, they want to pay you the least amount possible. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800 Law Tigers is the number to call, or you can always visit them online, lawtigers.com. Again, 1-800 Tigers. North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through February 22nd. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event finals from Italy and the updated medal count as the USA takes on the world. Updates from the Winter Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by WakeMed.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Hi friends, this is Mark Ponce with Chapel Hill Tire, and I'm excited to share that our Bailiwick location in North Raleigh at the intersection of Strickland and Six Forks Roads is now open. From routine maintenance to major repairs, our experienced technicians focus on doing the work right and treating you fairly. You get the same trusted Chapel Hill Tire service you know, now closer to home. With 13 locations, there's always a Chapel Hill Tire nearby. Book your appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth. Everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction. One day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters. Discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands, on-site financing to get you approved and on the water, boats in stock, and price to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here with a game day tip from WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Nearly half of all adults in the United States have high blood pressure, putting them at risk for stroke and heart disease. Managing blood pressure levels starts with a checkup with your doctor and knowing your numbers. If your blood pressure is high, you and your doctor can team up to achieve better results. Get in the game and know your numbers. Learn more about caring for your heart at wakemed.org. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Winter Games ongoing. We'll get to the hockey stuff here in a second. But first, this hour's update It's time for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. The total medals by country in order. First at the moment with 16 total medals, the host country, Italy. All right, the host country always gets a little boost. They're at 16 total medals right now. Norway in second with 14 total medals. United States in third with 13 total medals. There is kind of a big four right now. Austria has 12 total medals. Nobody else has more than 9. So they're kind of clear of the field. But in order for total medals, Italy, Norway, United States, and Austria. If you count by gold rather than total, then Norway is in first. They have 7 gold medals. Italy with 6. And then a 4-way tie between the United States, Germany, Sweden, and Switzerland with 4 gold medals apiece. United States is tied with Austria for most silvers. I don't know what to do with that information, but there you go. That is the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. We'll continue to keep you updated on that throughout the Winter Games. As it stands right now, the men's hockey team for the United States is playing their first game of pool play. This is their opener. They are taking on Latvia. And thus far, 1-1. Not what you're hoping for. A little over 5 minutes into the second period, United States is out shooting Latvia 16-10. They did score 2 goals that were both taken away on challenges, one offsides, one goalie interference. You can agree or disagree with the calls. The fact of the matter is the United States in all its glory is tied 1-1 with Latvia. Max, you want to give some reactions before we get into a full Team USA hockey conversation? You want to give some quick reactions to Canada earlier today?
I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. I thought Czechia would put up a bit of a better fight, but I mean, Canada, there's no doubt to me they're a wagon. I think they're the best team at the tournament. Unfortunately, I think USA is very good, but I think Canada might just be a little bit better. So I mean, we'll see when they end up playing each other. I'm sure they will. Hopefully in the final, because that'll be the most drama and the most fun. But yeah, Canada just made easy work of a Czechia team that I thought is gonna compete. I guess still could compete for a medal, but didn't look great earlier today.
You really hope they could compete for the bronze, but that's what you hope you want to say.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like them and Sweden and Finland. I was a little lower on because of their defense, and obviously after the first game, I felt pretty justified in that. But look, there's a lot to be determined. I mean, everybody makes it to the medal round, so the prelims don't matter too much, other than like you can get a bye into the quarters. But if you're one of these teams like the U.S. or Canada, like it's these like you expect to be in the quarters, in the semis, and probably playing for the final. So,
but at the same time, these teams aren't together a ton, so these games do matter as far as you want to look good, you want to build your confidence,
and you don't want to lose to Latvia or France or Italy or
very much so.
Not really anyone else that's on that complete bottom tier, but
the news that pertains to us most personally when it comes to Canada is Seth Jarvis did not draw into the lineup. He was the last guy added due to injury, so it makes sense that he would be the first forward to get the day off. They do have the extra, right? You dress you dress 13 in the Olympics for forwards, traditionally 13 and 7 rather than the 12 and 6 at the NHL level. So he was not the 13th. That was Sam Bennett. Jarvis, I think he matters. I think he plays. I think he makes an absurd amount of sense as a 13th forward because of what he can do on special teams and because of how I always use the blood type analogy because of how I think O negative is the one that fits with everybody. Like if certain line mates, they need a certain type of line. You know what I mean? Certain line, they're maybe B positive, right? And they need to be on a line with other B positives. A negative needs to be with A. I don't know all the stuff. But then there's those universals that can kind of skate with everyone. I think Jarvis is that. So I think he'll have his moments in the Olympics to have opportunities. But he did not play for Canada in the opener, which is a bummer, right? It means so much to him to wear the jersey. He wants to be out there on the ice. With that being said, who cares about Canada? Is USA all the way. Let's hit some cons and cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about for Team USA hockey? And I want to be clear here, we're talking about for the run of the Olympics. We are not talking about for this game against Latvia. I did not expect Max or I to dive into the matchups of Latvia and go, I'm worried about this pairing against this. No, this is big picture. Team USA, as far as chasing a gold medal, what are you most confident about their team, and what are you most concerned about for their team? As always, I have good news and bad news. Which do you want first? You always take the bad news. So we start with the concerns, and as usual, I'll let the producer lead off. Max, what are you most concerned about?
I mean, the obvious concerns when it comes to Team USA have been talked about a lot. It's who they ended up leaving at home and who they decided to take to Milan instead. When you bring JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck over the likes of Cole Caulfield and Jason Robertson, some of the top scoring American players, Alex DeBrincat, some really dynamic scorers. There's already enough physical guys on this team. You've got the Kachuk brothers paired together on a line, for God's sake. They're going to make sure to establish that tone physically. You don't have to worry too much about that when it comes to your bottom six, I don't think. So I would have felt better about bringing those top goal scorers over that could maybe get that goal in the big moment in a game against a Canada or something like that. Questionable roster decisions have me a little bit concerned when it comes to the USA. When there's a lot of scorers, but you can never have too much scoring. Scoring dries up sometimes, and it's going to be tight checking in those biggest games.
I mean, that's exactly what I had. I had, where is Jason Robertson and friends is kind of the way I put it with right now, Robertson, DeBrincat, and Caulfield, what's that, 32 goals and 30 goals in the NHL?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Team USA's roster isn't stacked because it's obviously an all-star team, but are they good enough to leave 94 goals at home? What it strikes me as is a bit of an overthink and a bit of a romanticizing of the roster construction.
Yeah. Robertson and Caulfield are tied for the second most goals, and Robertson is the second most points of any American in the NHL this year.
There you go. I always go back to, and this is unfair, right? And I'm not saying this specifically, but in a satirical way, this could be the joke made. This ain't Miracle. You know what I mean? You're not Herb Brooks, where what. You're not going to audition these guys. Some of the best guys aren't on this list. I'm not looking for the best team. I'm looking for the right players or whatever the line is. Those are the right 20 names. Sometimes just get the best players, right? Sometimes just get the best scorers if you want to score. It's not I want the guys that won't take the test or whatever all the stuff is that is, super highlighted in the movie about Miracle on Ice. Also, do you know what I want to just to also acknowledge about the way that the Miracle on Ice is talked about and the way the movie played out and the way it's important to address that Neil Broughton was on the team. There's also legit Hall of Famers. It's not all Mike Eruzione and just a bunch of grit and players playing above their potential. They also had some dudes. Don't leave the dudes at home. Just because you want the story of we put together the grittiest group of guys to go out there and take down Canada. If Jason Robertson scores a ton of goals, bring the guy that scores a ton of goals, right? It's the moneyballing of all sports, because Moneyball is we won because we got these 4 guys that nobody else valued. It's you also had Miguel Tejada in the best rotation in baseball, right? Let's not leave out some of the good here. It's the Miracle on Ice was all players that would never go on to play in the NHL. These were beer league hockey former college players that got through with pride and patriotism. It's then some of them played over 1,000 games in the NHL. It's not all that. You know what I mean? Hey, that's the speech they needed right there. Goal. Team USA.
Brock Nelson
said, you're going to take one away. I'm getting it back.
Hopefully this one will count.
I didn't see it, but I love it. Barring another, look at them all looking around. Barring another challenge and it taken away, United States has a lead 2-1 over Latvia. about halfway through the second period. Let's see what's working here. Nice little move. Little backhand from Brock Nelson.
Well, backhand, the goal point celebration, too. He said, count that one.
Yeah, exactly. Take that one away, why don't you? I didn't see the assist, but nice move there from Nelson. Hughes and Trocheck. I don't know which Hughes.
Jack
Hughes and Trocheck. Trocheck's like, that's why you brought me. For secondary assists. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Back to the big picture Team USA hockey conversation. We've gotten our concern out of the way, which for both of us was the same. It's the guys they left at home. Which, by the way, I don't expect that concern to pop up against Latvia. I would expect it to pop up against the better teams. And more specifically, let's not pretend like this roster isn't put together to try to beat Canada. Confidence. This is more fun. What do you have confidence in for the Team USA men's hockey team?
The Americans, bar none, have the best defensive core at the Olympics. Obviously, we know about Jacob Slavin and his defensive acumen. Zach Werenski and Quinn Hughes, what they do on the offensive side. Jake Sanderson as well, really good offensive defenseman. And then, obviously they're able to play two ways as well, and Slavin particularly in his own end of the ice can handle his own really well. And there's just infinite permutations and combinations they can do to throw things together. They can put whoever they want on the power play. If you want a righty, you can put McAvoy up there. If you want it to be a lefty, and they're probably going to start with lefty Quinn Hughes at the top of the power play because he's the second best defenseman in the NHL and the best that the United States has to offer. The D-core is the strength of this team. It's the best in the world, I think, by maybe not by a long shot, I guess. I think Canada does have a lot of very talented defensemen, but I think they left one of the good ones at home when they decided not to take Matthew Schaefer. D-core is what I'm really, really confident in when it comes to the United States.
Do you include goalie in that?
I don't include it, but I think the crop of goaltenders for the U.S. is the strongest top to bottom.
I agree. I very much agree. That was, I know that I make a big deal out of when we're playing cons and cons. You can't give multiple answers. You have to pick just one. That's the game. I'll break that a little bit here and say my runner-up was the goaltenders. I do think, obviously, if you're going up against a team, and you brought it up, Canada looks like a wagon. Right, the easiest way to make up a difference of depth or a difference of just talent level is to have a goaltender ready to rock, ready to take some away, and it's nice that the United States has multiple options and they can feel it out and find the best hand. My confidence. This is ironic because I by the way, I don't know how I could prove this because it's typed, so I can't go and be like I wrote this at this point. This was before I took first goal scorer predictions. I have Jake Gensel as my confidence. 3 goals in 4 games back in the Four Nations Cup, the last time it was played last year. I think he's playing just better hockey now. I think he's in better rhythm. I think Jake Gensel is going to have a very, very good run here. And point per game, most of that goals is kind of where you're looking from him. That's his role, and I want to see him execute it. I still have positive memories of Gensel. I think he wanted to stay in Carolina, so I'm not this is not a stinky prediction that I have to hold my nose and say I want it. I still got respect for the guy. He performed in the postseason. He was here in Carolina, and as much as I don't want to see him have success in the NHL now, just based on the team he plays for, he's all right in my book, and I think he's a good bet to have a big tournament here for Team USA. That's Cons and Cons here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. All right, so this next segment here took on a different flavor earlier today, and you'll see why. I said this earlier during the Big 3 at 3. If you weren't around, I'll repeat some of it. Yesterday on the show, despite the fact that the 3 teams in the triangle that are in the ACC, I'll put them in order of net ranking, Duke, Carolina, NC State, are all amongst the best teams in the ACC and amongst the best teams in the country, I got to call them like I sees them, and it seems like they're all, reeling might be too strong of a word, but it seems like they're all dealing with a dip, okay? And at least in their most recent games, right? The UNC against Miami, and now you add in the fact that Caleb Wilson in that game fractured his left hand. This is news that broke earlier this afternoon and is out indefinitely. The best player for Carolina now out indefinitely. You look at NC State, they were on a nice little rhythm, won a bunch of games in a row, started feeling some momentum, got absolutely mollywopped by Louisville, gave up like historic scoring numbers in a bunch of different ways. And Duke, even though they've won 3 of their last 4, their last 4 games have me concerned because we haven't seen them be as dominant as they were earlier. And any step back is an issue for a team who, you know, is chasing a national championship and is amongst the top 4 teams in the country and wants to be the 1 seed and everything else that comes with high expectations. So yesterday, I spent too much time talking problems, not enough time talking solutions. Hand up, tap my chest, that's on me. My bad, coach. I'll be better next time. And for that reason, I cleared some time to talk solutions here. And I think my solution for UNC becomes maybe triply important with the Caleb Wilson news. I wrote this before Caleb Wilson's injury, the advanced status of the injury, right? We knew that he had hurt something on his left hand or wrist. Now that it's a fracture and he's out indefinitely, we have the official update from the team. My solution for UNC was and is, I think the program, coaches, veteran players, front office, strength and conditioning, whoever it is, have to pump confidence into a specific group of players. And that specific group of players is the players whose roles have been inconsistent this year. Not whose play has been inconsistent, whose roles have been inconsistent. The Derek Dixons of the world. If Jaden Young is playing at all. If Jaron Stevenson is expected to be depended on, especially now perhaps in place of Caleb Wilson because he has some height that could slide down to the 4. Luka Bogovat. Like those players need confidence because the inconsistency is going to happen. Right at this point in the season, I think you kind of are what you are. So you know, like Jaron Stevenson's not going to score 14 every game. He's going to score 16 some games, and he's going to play 10 minutes some games, and that is going to mess with your confidence. Derek Dixon went from he had 3 possessions at the end of a Duke game where he either assisted on a made 3 or took and made a 3, and I mean, you're thinking glory, right? You're thinking, oh, now that announced my presence, even if you're consciously trying to subdue these thoughts, you're thinking like, you know, strong run through the ACC tournament, a little MOP in the Final Four, and I'm on to the league. Then the Miami game happens. He goes 0 for 6 from 3, clanks a 3 with whatever it was, like 3.5 minutes left. That would have tied it up. And you know, from the height to the valley, the peak to the valley is a long fall. So if I'm Hubert Davis, I'm looking at Derek Dixon and saying, listen, we've made our choice, okay? It took us half a season. We played Kyan Evans on ball. We tried to play Luka Bogovat's on ball. We tried to play Jaden Young on ball. We've settled on Derek Dixon as our point guard, and you don't have to worry about that changing. Play free, play loose. Right? Take chances, let it fly. Don't be reckless, but we are confident in you, and one game isn't going to change that. And that goes for a bunch of players, right? Jaron Stevenson, hey, your role is going to fluctuate. It's not based on, oh, did you have 2 turnovers last game? You're not playing next game. Oh, did you miss 2 threes this game? You're not playing next game. It is matchup dependent. It is scouting dependent. And without Caleb Wilson, you're going to need confidence because there's going to be some rough moments. There's going to be some growing pains. We'll go to NC State next, right? They just got blown out by Louisville. I advocated for, which, by the way, you can check out a further conversation between Max and I. We co-host the Pack Therapy podcast. Latest episode out everywhere you can find podcasts, our 99.9 The Fan app, our 99.9 The Fan YouTube, and all audio podcast platforms. Where we do a deeper dive into State. But I've been advocating for them to flush it, like not watch the tape, not just move on. That's a weird game. Pretend it happened in the Twilight Zone. It wasn't real, and move on. But if there is something to take away from it, and it is more of a season-long observation. I think my solution for State is be willing to change in-game faster. Right? There's a fine line between trusting your plan, trusting your scouting report, and like acknowledging what you see. Right? There's a fine line between that is a bad shooter. I'm not going to treat him as if he is a lights-out shooter, and the guy's hit 3 threes. I need to guard him like he's a lights-out shooter, right? You don't want to overreact to like one fluke shot, but also you can't let the guy make 6 before you start, respecting his jumper. We've seen a handful of not great shooters put up massive numbers against NC State, and it just felt like, State was sitting back at times going, yeah, but there's no way he's going to make the 7th. And I'm like, he already made 6. Change, right? Change your opinion. Or the same vice versa, right? Like, all right, you're the best shooting team, 3-point shooting team in the ACC. If you're having a cold night, go to the bucket. You know what I mean? Draw fouls. The cliche is a cliche for a reason. Just see one go through the hoop, all right? Get a couple free throws to fall, and maybe your jumper will come back, but don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And then finally, my solution for Duke, which sounds crazy. Some of you are going, why do they need a solution, right? They're 4th in the country. The net rankings love them. So, okay, they lost 1 game to a rival on a fluke comeback buzzer beater. Well, that's not just that, right? I don't think they've played their best basketball in any of the last 4. Sure, they've won games by double digits in the other 3, but those teams didn't exactly put up the fight, right? And looking more offensively, right? Defense might be playing as well as it could be, but offensively, I think there's been a lot to be desired. And I'm not the only one acknowledging this. I've read about it in ESPN. I've read about it in CBS. It does feel like they've settled into depending on Cameron Boozer offensively a little too much. Now, that's a first world problem. Like, couldn't we all depend on the overwhelming betting favorite to be the national player of the year? You don't want all your eggs in one basket, no matter who that basket is. And I this might be just simplifying things, but my solution is face your fear head on. You're afraid of heights? Go skydiving. You're afraid of water? Jump off the high dive. You depend too much on Cameron Boozer? Take him away. Go in the first half, right, of I don't know, 3 or 4 games in a row. Go media timeout to media timeout where you don't let yourself put Cameron Boozer in. That way you have him if you need him and want to lean on him in the clutch moments. But also you get to look at your team and say, no, figure it out. Now, I'm not saying they're youth athletes, but this is an analogy I use often. The best coach that I ever had was my youth baseball coach. Coached me in a bunch of different sports, but baseball is how I remember him. And this is like 10, 11, 12 years old. We're talking Little League. I was a very emotional as far as competitive kid. I also had a strong arm that I couldn't control. For future quarterback, I'd throw weird spins and things. But I'd be up there. I'd walk the bases loaded. Right, and it's a youth game. Doesn't matter to anybody, right? Parents are just trying to get home to dinner. But to me, it was the biggest thing in the world when I'm 11 years old. And I'd have walked the bases loaded, and I'd be looking to him on the dugout, almost saying, like, come take me out. Put me in at shortstop. I want to play. I want to be a part of it, but this ain't working. And he'd look at you, and he'd do this for every kid, like tears in their eyes on the mound, walking everybody, hit 2 batters, and he'd be like, I'm not getting you out of this. You're going to have to get yourself out of this. Nobody is bailing you out. Right? Throw strikes. Focus up. Clear your mind. I'm not getting you out of this. And he'd be saying it very nonchalantly, right? And it's a youth baseball field, so he'd be like me to Max away because it's a small field going like, this is on you. And that mound would feel lonely, but you'd figure it out. I kind of want Cameron Boozer on the bench. And if the offense isn't working, I want them all looking to the bench like, when are they going to put Cameron Boozer in and have John Shire sitting there saying, I'm not bailing you out. Isaiah Evans, you're going to have to lead things. I'm not bailing you out. Big Pat, if you're healthy, you're going to have to be the guy down. I'm not bailing you out. I'm not going to the bullpen. You're going to have to get people out. If you keep walking them, you're just going to give up a million runs. And again, we're nitpicking some of these teams more than others because, if the better you are, the higher the expectations are. The better you've played, the higher expectations are. So there you go. That is solutions, not just problems. Trying to be better than the last day. Max, I missed a goal. Team USA now up 3-1. Who scored it and how? They're playing Latvia men's hockey in the Olympics.
Did
you miss it as well?
That's a great question.
That's how you know we're in the triangle in North Carolina. We got
Paige Thompson.
That's one for you.
One for me.
That's how you know we're in the triangle in North Carolina. Team USA men's hockey playing. We have screens on. We started talking college basketball and got lost. Paige Thompson, where did the assist from? Do you know off the top of your head? Did you look it up? No?
No, I'm working on something else very exciting in here.
Are you doing speaking of 11-year-olds, are you doing the 11-year-old, I have a secret, I'm not telling you? Is that what you're doing right now?
I mean, it's not a secret, but it's not necessarily relevant right now, so.
Well, we're about to go to commercial, so what are you doing?
I'm buying a ticket to see the Kansas Jayhawks play the Houston Cougars on Big Monday at Allen Fieldhouse.
You're going to Kansas?
Yep.
I mean, that isn't relevant, but that is interesting.
I saw after the game on Monday. It's just a stadium I've always wanted to go to, and
Solo Dolo?
like a top 5. Yeah, Solo Dolo.
What are the chances? Let's put a percentage on it that Darren Peterson plays. 30?
I'm hoping he'll play. I mean, he's not. There shouldn't be missing an extended amount of time. I'm hoping he'll play, so it'll be him versus Kingston Flemings.
He didn't play against Duke. He didn't play against Arizona. He didn't play against UConn.
Played against NC State and UNC, though.
Yeah.
He has missed a lot of time for random stuff. I hope he's playing.
Big games is what he misses.
Even if he's not, I'm really just going for the environment.
Top 5 teams in the country. Misses that. You're going to go look at the rules of basketball in the basement?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Enjoy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll get to a quick feedback frenzy coming up.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Are you maxed out on credit cards? Maybe you're struggling with that high-interest debt. You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a massive turnaround. Here's the thing. Your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I absolutely think Seattle has what it takes to go back-to-back. They are going to have turnover at the offensive coordinator position with Clint Kubiak, but we have seen the emergence of Mike McDonald, a defense that is so nasty. We believe in Sam Darnold in a different way. So many great pieces on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and now they have that championship DNA.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, Greg Talbot with Strategic Tax Resolution. Tax enforcement and defense strategies have changed a lot over the last year. After nearly 5 years, the IRS has restarted automated collections. You could be next for bank levies and wage garnishments. Ignoring the issue is not an option. Call 984-272-2600 to get protected. Do you have unfiled returns or tax debt? We work directly with the IRS and states so you don't have to. Let us use our proven strategies and experience with the IRS and state to resolve your tax issue. Qualified clients have cut their tax debt by more than 90%. How would that feel? Act now to learn the latest updates to tax relief programs. Your eligibility may not be the same. Strategic Tax Resolution. Local, trusted, A+ rated by the BBB. Call 984-272-2600. Ask for me, Greg Talbot. 984-272-2600. You've got a guy on your side. StrategicTaxResolution.com. Get relief.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Team USA scored again, is what Max was telling me during that commercial break. Brock Nelson. That's his second official, third if you include the one that was taken away by the refs. Was his the goalie interference or his was the goalie interference, right?
So he was offside on the second goal, and then the goal that he scored was the one that got called back for goalie interference.
So busy day for Brock Nelson. Either way, Team USA now up 4-1 on Latvia. That's kind of what we expected. Weird first period, but second period getting things back underway. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. With that being said, it is time for a feedback frenzy. All right, Max, what are they telling us feedback-wise from our recent segments on the internets?
All right, this is from our conversation yesterday about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, saying it's his year to establish himself as the franchise guy, or maybe if it doesn't go well, time to cut ties and move on. This was a comment from Bandit Man. This next season will be the referendum on both Canales and Bryce Young. The truth is that the Panthers offense has the players to be better than 27th in scoring. If we aren't at least top half of the league, it's time for both of them to go.
Well, the question is, if this year proves beyond a reasonable doubt, and this is an if, not a prediction, this is just offering a possibility. If it proves beyond a reasonable doubt that Bryce Young is not a starting quarterback in the NFL, how do you then turn around and tell Dave Canales that, you know, the offense should have been great when you were at the most important position playing a guy who is not that dude? Unless he was the one choosing to have that dude, in which case his evaluation would be questioned. So it's very hard to differentiate coach, quarterback, or actually offensive play caller and quarterback, which is why I say all the time, the four horsemen of the franchise, owner, GM, head coach, quarterback, all should trust each other with their jobs, because it's hard to differentiate which one is impacting things positively and negatively. You kind of all share the blame and all share the credit. So I think you should hire the owner isn't leaving unless they want to. You should hire all three of the others kind of at the same time, right? If you're going to change quarterbacks and at any point in the next couple of years you're going to change GM or head coach, bite the bullet, hire the GM first, then the owner and GM get together, hire the head coach, then the owner, GM, and head coach get together. If it's not the offensive coordinator, you hire the offensive coordinator. And then those four get together, pick the quarterback, and then everybody's invested in everybody.
All right, this is another comment from that same video. This is from PH Wiz. Bryce needs legitimate competition. He has not established himself as our franchise QB. I'll say it again. He needs a fire lit under him, and a hungry third or fourth rounder might be just what the doctor ordered. We need consistency from Bryce Young. One adjective you cannot use to describe him is consistent.
You're playing a dangerous game, lighting a fire underneath a quarterback with competition. And I'm not – listen, if you want to be hard-nosed, you want to be Bear Bryant, you want to go iron sharpens iron, feel free. I'm here to tell you quarterback is different. Right? Running backs, you like actually, I'll do this just to prove my point. Max, name any position other than quarterback.
Wide receiver.
You can play wide receiver harder, right? You like, oh, they're not giving me respect. They brought in a first rounder to take my job. You can run harder. You can run faster. You can block harder. You can block faster. You can make more aggressive catches. You can be called for more OPIs because you're bullying guys. You can do that at every position except quarterback. At quarterback, if you're pressing, if you're going harder, I want to do this more, you end up making mistakes. You have to play loosey-goosey. It's just different, right? And you can treat it the same, and there are quarterbacks that will absolutely react positively, right? Aaron Rodgers. You draft a first-rounder behind Aaron Rodgers, you get back-to-back MVPs. We saw it in Green Bay. There are players that will, but there's also a lot of players that you draft his replacement, they go, oh, you don't like me? Oh, I better be perfect. Oh, if I throw an interception, you're going to bench me. And then they're hesitant. Go right now, look up the not right now, after our show. Go look up the I forget the guy's name. The safety for the Seahawks was mic'd up during the Super Bowl.
Eamon Worry?
No, it was one of the veterans. The guy that got the interception on the punt down the middle of the field from punt throw down the middle of the field from Drake May. But he was talking on the sideline during the game.
Julian Love.
That's exactly who it is. He was in the game on the sideline, mic'd up, talking, and he was saying, this is after Drake May started the struggling. He's like, you know what he's doing? He's confirming guys are open. He's looking, and he's just pausing to make sure he's open, and he goes, he's not doing it like Stafford. He said that like those exact words. He's not doing it like Stafford, just cutting it loose. And that's what happens when confidence gets shattered just a hint, right? Instead of going, okay, I see the defense. I know what defenses they're playing. This is where I should go with the ball and letting it fly. You're going, this is where I should go with the ball, but if I throw an interception, they might bench me. So let me make sure he's open. And that hesitation is all it takes for a good defensive back to break on it. You end up with a all-time bad Super Bowl performance. So you can play with your quarterback's confidence if you want. I need to light a fire under him. You need to bring in competition. You can do that. And it might work if they're built a certain way. If they're not, it might make them crumble. And then you sit there and guess what you do? Oh, he was never built for it. Good. Oh, he didn't have it. I'm going like, yeah, okay, great. You ruined your player. Fantastic, right? Good for you. You found out he wasn't strong enough for the competition. If you made one different decision, you might have a really good quarterback. But yeah, hardo football guy. Good job.
All right, well, we'll shift gears here to some news that actually broke earlier today about Caleb Wilson. He fractured his left hand in the game against Miami, is out indefinitely. This was as part of our reaction video from earlier in this show. Comment from Meat Tooth, appears to be a Carolina fan. Caleb is the only one on the team that can create his own shot and make a decent percentage. The guy you could count on to get you a badly needed basket. Look what he did against Duke, single-handedly kept UNC in the game. With Caleb, we are a top 15 to top 20 team. Without, we are not even a quad 1 level team.
Well, are you playing at home or on the road?
Exactly. You didn't consider the context of the venue.
If you don't get that joke, quad 1, if you're playing at Carolina, they're quad 1 if they're top 70. And if you're playing Carolina at your home arena, they'd need to be top 30 to be quad 1. That's a big difference. Listen, you're not going to – there are parts of that I would like to disagree with, but I'm not going to disagree with Caleb Wilson is really gosh darn good and he's really hard to replace. And I think that's kind of what he's getting at.
I think saying that they're not a quad 1 level team without him, though, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think they're like closer to like a 9 seed, like bubble team level team without him. I mean, it's hard to say because we haven't seen it before, but they have a lot of other talented, like Vasar is a great big. You've got experience with Seth Trimble. You've got some younger guys that have been stepping up as of late. So I don't know if I'd say they're not a quad 1 level team, not a effectively top 50 team without him.
We're probably nitpicking here, but if you think quad 1 is top 30, and you tell me without Caleb Wilson they're not a top 30 team,
that I could potentially agree with.
That's a conversation, and with him, I do see them as a top 15 team in the country. So, and by the way, like there's probably 8 to 10 players, maybe a little bit more in college basketball that if you take them off a team, they would fall 20 spots. Like he's one of those dudes. Like he's one of those ones. You know what I mean? So Yeah, I like every bit of that comment. I don't necessarily co-sign, but if the gist of your argument is Caleb Wilson's really good and the team's going to be significantly worse if he can't play, I mean, only a fool would take a stand against that. He's that good. And I want to be clear. You can go back, find the receipts. It was like, I don't know, a week before the season started, so we had not seen any actual college basketball real games, maybe an exhibition or two. And I took 12 minutes to let everybody know. We can go find the video. Like, this is factual. To let everybody know that Caleb Wilson was being disrespected. And I think at the time he was on most national lists as like the 8th best freshman in the country. And I was going, I don't see why he's not mentioned with Boozer and DeBonsa and Peterson. He should be in whatever upper level it was. And I feel really good about that tape, right? I'm wrong a lot. But that one, maybe at the end of the year due to the injury and the way Carolina's season goes, he doesn't finish. Like, I feel really good about that take. And I would double down on it if you told me he was going to be healthy in 2 weeks. I would go, he still is there. We don't know a timetable on his return. Again, if you're just tuning in, UNC announced today that he fractured his left hand and is out indefinitely. But the kid is the guy. I don't want to say kid. He's an adult. The player is good. So if right now Carolina fans are letting themselves, my wife's a therapist, so letting themselves feel some emotions, if they're, enabling themselves to feel disappointment, I'm with you. Like I get it. You're allowed to be bummed at this, especially because, we've talked about how much of a bummer it was earlier in the year where it felt like the season with Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar and Chapel Hill was kind of being wasted by the fact that the backcourt wasn't playing up to snuff. And it was like, you don't get many seasons with two big men that are that good playing that well. If injury robs us of that season, it's just as disappointing as if lackadaisical play robs us of that season. So, I get it. Feel disappointed. I'm with you. Feel angry. Vent. Lash out. I don't know what the 12 steps are. Grieve. Mourn. Do all that because –
bargain.
Yeah, bargain. Deny. I don't know. Do whatever you want because, this season just changed in a big way for Carolina. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. These are the moments, if you're venting, if something bad happens in your life, whether it's something serious bad or something more foolish bad, like your team has a bad game, right? The toy box of life, sports. But when that happens, you need your house to hold up, right? You don't want to slam down the remote because your team just lost a heartbreaker and then you go, oh, no. I have my heat set to 68 degrees and it feels about 52 in here because your heater broke. Or you don't want to be mad and fine, go use the bathroom and you flush and it's not working, right? Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. Those are the things that in times of need you want to be dependent on and take for granted. Manor Service Company, they want to be there. They want to make sure that those things are working for you in all points in time, but definitely when you're extra frustrated for other reasons. And not only that, if they do go bad, if they do break, if they aren't working right, they want to get them fixed as quickly as possible. So give them a call, 919-361-0993. Again, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, all of it, 919-361-0993, or visit them online at ManorServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. We have the starting five coming up next to start the 5 o'clock hour. Stick around.
Listen for the buzzer beaters.
Trimble for the win! Yes! At the buzzer! Trimble does it! Carolina's first lead is the last! They win it! 71-68! It is bedlam in the Smith Center.
The road to Indianapolis runs through 99.9. The Fan, driven by Chapel Hill Tire and Roof Works.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash scratch-offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes? Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. You've heard me talk about it before, my journey with Raleigh Weight Loss Center and my journey of losing over 40 pounds, 42 pounds to be exact, but most importantly, over 15% of my body weight thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And I know that we're already in the month of February, and a lot of people out there are probably still struggling with their New Year's resolution for weight loss and workouts and all that kind of stuff. Quit fooling around with that mess and give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call right now at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call. That's right, a free 15-minute phone call with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. You got questions, you got concerns, you got health issues, bring it all to the table. Figure out if it's the right thing for you. That way you can move forward knowing full well that this is the right thing for you. You'll see results soon. Trust me, I did. In a matter of just days, I saw the weight melt off. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Definitely a cooler day out there with a breeze. Tonight gets pretty cold. We dip down into the upper 20s under mostly clear skies. Just 52 for the high on Friday, but with plenty of sunshine. Saturday, we're back up to 62 degrees, making for a beautiful Valentine's Day.
5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones finishes down 669 points to 49,451.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. All of our social medias. You can find them by searching 99.9 The Fan. And prepare for the starting five. As always, we get it started right here with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do that hockey.
Team USA taking on Latvia. As we sit right now, they are in Italy in the second period. 4-1 the score. The United States is ahead. 2 goals taken away by challenges, so 6-1 vibes, 4-1 score is kind of how I'm describing this one. I wouldn't say it's been the cleanest game for the opportunity I've had to glance up at the screen here and watch while we've been taking the show. And with that, it's probably, with no disrespect to Latvia, you need to play the FCS team in the first of the year for a college football national championship contender, your little tune-up game. Perhaps this is one where, USA knocks off some rust, figures out some things, and then they're more ready for their bigger challenges later on. But 4-1 with actually I said second period, the third period just kind of getting underway here. It's a nice healthy lead for the Team USA. Max, you've been able to watch a little bit more than I have. What's give us your biggest takeaway from the game thus far? I mean, yeah, obviously it could even be a bigger lead because they had a couple of goals get called back, but things are looking pretty good so far. I mean, 32-12 in that shot advantage. That's about what you'd expect against a team that has 3 or 4 bottom 6er NHLers. I think that's kind of generous, honestly, to say that. And they do have an NHL goaltender in Merzlikins, but USA doing what they're expected to do. Looks like they're about to go on a power play as well. Looking pretty good so far. All right, get the win, stay healthy, get a little bit more in rhythm. We'll see you next time. That's the goal for the rest of the third period. the aspiration, right? Goal. You know what I mean. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
It's already mock draft season in the NFL. So Carolina Panther fans, get ready. Mock drafts coming at you from every direction, which may seem ridiculous, right? Until you recognize this. It is February 12th right now. February 17th is when teams can start franchise tagging and transition tagging their players. So that's, less than a week, right? That's not that far from now. The NFL Scouting Combine, February 23rd, right? So we are 11 days from the Combine. And, if you're a fan that's super invested in a team like the Panthers, or you are somebody that is, has some influence over the Panthers, you need kind of your roster plans. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, and this is where the mock drafts, I think, come into play. I don't think you need to know which players you want. And I apologize because that's a real buzzkill to everybody that comes up to me and says, who are the Panthers going to take with the 19th pick? I don't think you need names. I think it's way too early for names. I think it's a fool's errand to try to predict names because, there's I'll use this as an example. There's kind of this big 3 of wide receivers right now. Carnell Tate from Ohio State, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, and Mekhi Lemon from USC. If one of them runs a 4.6, I don't think they're being drafted in the top 18. If any of them run a sub 4.4, I think they're going to be drafted in the top 10. Other than that, they could kind of fluctuate between. So, what's me saying draft this guy at 19 if I'm completely aware that those are 3 players that could be drafted ahead of or behind based on the Combine, right? And if they run at all at the Combine, who knows? So basically what I'm saying is this. What you need to start doing, depending on how invested you are, is coming up with ideas rather than people. All right, I need an off-ball linebacker that's super productive and ready to slot in and start right now. Can I get them in the 2nd or 3rd round? How many of those are there? All right, 1st round, I want an edge rusher. What edge rushers are sure to be gone? What edge rushers might fall? This is one of the funniest prospects points that I can remember. Reuben Bain Jr., Miami. I hadn't done a deep dive, but I was trusting people that talk about it. He was assumed to be like a top 5 pick for the entirety of the year. I've just recently learned he for lack of a better term, he has T-Rex arms. The guy has some of the shortest arms for somebody his size I've ever seen. He's got 30-inch arms, which is strange, right? It's I don't know, a 6'4" guy with 8.5 shoe size. It doesn't add up. And because of that, there was no chance in, the hot place for a snowball if that I thought he would be available at 19 for the Panthers. But then you watch somebody like Will Campbell, a left tackle with short arms, get absolutely mollywopped in the Super Bowl. And who knows, this might be the draft where everybody with short arms gets downgraded by a full round. Maybe he's there at 19. And if he is, I don't care if he has short arms. Draft the guy. So you're thinking more what positions are strong when you're looking at mock drafts than you are what player is going to be there at my team's pick. What positions are strong, and can I wait another round to get those and fill some other need? That's what you're looking at. And yeah, you might have some franchise tag decisions to make later this week. Crazy. Or later, early next week might be the way to say that. That is number 4. Let's jump to number 3.
You're looking now coming in on the sideline. You got Moxon looking to come in.
Yeah, and you've taken more snaps than he's taken.
That is a clip from the cinematic classic, Varsity Blues. James Van Der Beek passed away yesterday, a.k.a. Mox. That movie is great for a lot of reasons. Van Der Beek's career is legendary. He's obviously Dawson from Dawson's Creek. Jonathan Moxon, 2 absolute legends. He passed away. It was colorectal cancer. which obviously cancer sucks. Everybody knows that. Everybody has been affected, and you feel for Vanderbeek's family. I believe he has a whole bunch of children. His wife obviously survives him, age 48. So the serious is, if you listen to this show, you know I love a sports reference. I love a sports movie reference. I love sports movies. I'm a sucker for it. I don't even know if it's a guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure. I love a sports movie, and Varsity Blues certainly one of them. So the serious nature is cancer is awful. Thinking of his friends and family, all of that. Passing support, everything serious, good. The other side of it is Varsity Blues is underrated as heck. Let me make my argument here. And also, it's now being ravaged by tragedy. The actor that played Billy Bob, obviously Paul Walker, who played Lance, and now Mox have all passed away and all much too young. But they kind of invented the air raid. Does anybody, like, the movie is ridiculous. It is hilarious. It is a, teen raunchy, whatever you want to call it. Not the most high-level comedy in the world. But when Kilmer, played by John Voight, is bounced at halftime and Mox and Harbor take over the team, we're going 5 wide, no huddle all night. We're gonna hit them with fast movement, and they invent basically like Mike Leach, and I know Mike Leach had done a little bit of it at Oklahoma by then, but they popularized basically the football we see now. If you watch college football right now, it looks like the second half of the championship game from the West Cannon Coyotes, which is absurd. Also, it's just a funny movie. If you're of that particular era, you know exactly what's going on. So again, thinking of James Vanderbeek, he enters. Bill Simmons does this all the time. Are you a sports movie Hall of Famer? I don't know if James, he's only got one entry, but I Don't Want Your Life is up there as far as if you're going to get in off of one MVP season, James Vanderbeek might get in the Sports Movie Hall of Fame. He's not an inner circle guy with Kev Costner and all them, but Dennis Quaid, but he's in the mix. I Don't Want Your Life. It's bad accent. It's a great movie. You've seen that movie? I'm asking Max because he's young.
No.
You've not seen Varsity Blues?
Nope. Just clipped it for the soundbite.
Man. I actually think you would enjoy it.
Maybe I'll watch that one.
You're going to be on a plane soon going to Kansas, right?
Yeah, that might actually be a good opportunity.
Download Varsity Blues. I do my best not to give you homework assignments on do this old thing because it's nostalgic for me. Varsity Blues is pretty darn good. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Get in something where you can make it. Whoa!
That was a pretty ridiculous play by Brandon Miller. All right, so I just gave you some homework. Gave you a movie that you have to watch, Max, as a peace offering or as a favor, the repaying. I know you're a big Charlotte Hornets fan. I know they've won 9 of their last 10. I know they beat the Atlanta Hawks last night by 3. Go ahead and brag up on your squad. What are they doing? That's turned their season around, really. They're not quite 500, but they're
getting close.
They
They're getting
seem
close.
like they're on a heat-seeking missile for that 500 and beyond. Well, what are they doing so well?
Yeah, I mean, it's really comes down to one, everybody's actually healthy, which feels like has never happened for the Hornets. Is either LaMelo Ball misses a lot of time, Brandon Miller missed most of the season last year, and then you combine the health of those two in particular with they've discovered that Moussa Diabate at the 5 spot. Has been a really nice find. Was a two-way player and now has played his way into being this great center, good energy, great rebounder, good defender. He locked up Wembanyama. I mean, he has been a great find. So the health combined with finding some pieces and then also a great draft class last year has really elevated them to this explosive offensive team that has finally gotten to a good level on defense. That was the issue for a while too, is the offense was solid, but the defense wasn't really there. But now they're getting there because of, in part because of Diabate, and Sion James has been a nice pickup on that side of the floor as well from the draft class. They got it done last night without Diabate and Miles Bridges, who they were serving the first game of their suspensions for the fight they took part in against the Pistons on Monday. They both got 4 games. So heading into the All-Star break, they'll have 3 on the other side without those 2. But man, it's like the culture has changed for this team that has had losing culture for forever. There was never any excitement for anybody for the Hornets. The games were always empty. So me and my buddies, we have season tickets that are upstairs. We get to move down close to the action pretty often. That not be the case anymore. And honestly, I don't really mind it because I'm glad to see some excitement and some energy. The culture is shifting, and they're starting to win. Got into that 9 seed with the win over the Hawks last night, which ended up being closer than it should because they were up by 10 to 15 at least, like most of the game. But they got it done, and that's what really matters. They don't ask how; they ask how many.
Last question for you about the Charlotte Hornets. You were not on the show the day after the fight. What's your take? You like it? Is it, hey, don't push me around? I don't care if this costs us a 9-game winning streak. You're not gonna emasculate me?
No, I think the Pistons were the way they were playing. They were almost always winning, so I don't mind at least kind of maybe losing the game result as a result of that, especially when it's kind of standing up for yourself and proving that you're not soft and can't be pushed and bullied around and out physicaled out there. So I didn't necessarily hate it. I mean, I don't know if Miles Bridges needed to square up with Beef Stew and try to shoot a UFC takedown on him, but it's fine. I think it showed that how tight-knit kind of the locker room is and how the guys are willing to stand up and defend each other. So not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, would like to have 2 of your 5 starters that have gone 15-2, I guess 15-1 technically in games where they've all finished and hadn't been ejected halfway through. But those are the types of things that happen sometimes, and it's kind of like cost of doing business.
That is, what number is that? I was all distracted by the Hornets.
That was 2, but I feel like our number 1 may be different. Yeah, based on the news today.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. Let's go ahead and jump to number 1. Well, actually, we do have to make one quick thing here, then we'll get to the real number 1 of the day. It's time for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. As we look at the medal count, I'll do this quickly for you to get to the breaking news. Italy, most total medals amongst any countries was 17. United States has moved into a tie for second. 14 total medals apiece for Norway, 14 total medals for United States. So they are in a tie for second in total medals. However, Norway does earn the tiebreaker for second because they have 7 golds to the United States 4. Matter of fact, Norway has the most gold medals of anybody with 7. Italy has the second most gold medals with 6. And then United States, Germany, Sweden, and Switzerland all tied with 4 gold medals. That is the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. Thank you. Now, also to update you on men's hockey, the United States added another. So they are up 5-1.
That was your boy Matthews, too. So for our goal scorers, we got 1 each. I got Thompson, and you got Matthews.
Is there not anything more predictable than Austin Matthews tacking on one that really doesn't matter?
A meaningless goal at the end. Who was it that gosh, who did they say that about? I think Aaron Judge.
Yeah,
in baseball, they always say that he hasn't hit like a meaningful home run.
Nobody hits an 8th inning 3-run blast in a 9-1 game more than Aaron Judge. That's funny, and there's probably some similarities between Austin Matthews and that's not and Aaron Judge. That's not bad as far as big market, a lot of pressure, superstar, stats okay, but not a lot of hardware. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's get to the real number 1, which is Caleb Wilson out indefinitely, according to a North Carolina statement announced earlier today. Fractured left hand. That's the information we have. Multiple reporters, obviously, as soon as that information was announced publicly, did all the digging. No timetable, right? They're still evaluating. There's no timetable on his return, which is why indefinitely was the word used. This is huge. It is a massive blow for the Carolina Tar Heels, who this most recent game against Miami notwithstanding, and I do think part of that was simply a Duke hangover, and it was on the road, and it was a Tuesday, and it was, whether Hubert Davis wants to admit it or not, it looked like a emotional game hangover to me. Prior to that, they were finding their rhythm. They were finding their footing. They had won a big game against Duke, and it seems like that is going to be very difficult to keep the momentum of. I'm not sure. If you go around to every team in the country, and I suppose we limit it to the top 50 teams in the country, I'm not sure there are two more important players to their teams than Caleb Wilson to Carolina and Cameron Boozer to Duke. Right? We saw Darren Peterson is going to be the number 1 overall pick. It appears in the NBA. We just saw Kansas beat Arizona and ruin their undefeated season without Darren Peterson. Right? We've seen, and I'm not saying those guys aren't good. I'm just saying Duke and Carolina, and we're talking Carolina here, is very much built around, okay, Caleb Wilson will be impactful. How do we make everyone else more impactful playing off of that? The attention he draws, the ability he has to, quite frankly, be a playmaker, create his own shot. What can everyone else do? What can Henry Vasar do working against a matchup that might be less advantageous because they have to take the most athletic big they have and guard Caleb Wilson, right? Where I think on most teams, if you had Vasar and his ability to stretch the floor, he'd be getting the most athletic big. Now he's getting traditional fives, if they're even playing a traditional five against that unit. Everything they do starts with, well, Caleb Wilson is really good. He's unique. Teams are going to have to focus on him. How can we get Seth Trimble going? All right, Caleb Wilson can guard 1 through 5. Where does that mean we can switch? Or where does that mean we can use this player? With him out of the game, everything changes for Carolina. And indefinite is a scary word. Now, obviously, it could mean 2 weeks, right? Indefinite always makes us jump to the craziest version. It's similar to, ready for this reference? Buckle up, Max. The drug commercials on TV where they say, do not operate heavy machinery for 24 hours?
Yeah.
My brain always goes to a crane or a backhoe. They probably mean cars, right? They probably mean don't operate heavy machinery. Don't operate
operate your 2-ton.
A sedan. I always jump to a forklift.
Hunk of metal that goes 100 miles an hour.
It's similar. When someone says indefinite, it could mean 2 weeks. We just don't know, right? It could mean, we're just unaware. We're not sure. But it could also mean done for the year. Right, and that's always where my mind jumps. It jumps to the crane. It jumps to the steamroller. It jumps to massive absences. So if you're a more optimistic glass half full person, maybe you think he'll be back, by March. They play Duke March 7th. They have the ACC tournament in about a month. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
The details were rather vague in the release, other than out indefinitely, and there's a fracture. We don't know the severity.
It did not show up on original scans. Additional imaging revealed the injury.
And there's no timetable at this point that we know of.
I will say they say hand, which, I don't know, wrists and ankles always scare me because there's so many bones and so many tiny little who knows what's going on there. So hand makes me a bit more optimistic, but I am not a doctor, and I did not sleep at whatever hotel you are to be smart enough to be a doctor. And then next point being, and I said this earlier, but this is maybe to get ahead of it, Carolina can't rush him back, right? If this were the NBA, if this were, maybe the old school of college basketball where he was a freshman and you expect him to play till his junior or senior year, you can, you're more invested and there's a little bit of, different expectations. He's going to be in the draft this year. He's going to be a high pick, and there's a world where he ends up a player on a $200 million contract, right? He has that kind of potential, and the school has a responsibility, whether it's in writing or not, to protect their players' futures. So, if the trainer or the doctor or whoever says, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks, I would anticipate 6 because you can't risk it. And matter of fact, you wouldn't want to, because when you recruit, you want to be able to tell the next future NBA star that you want to take a 1-year, one-and-done pit stop in Chapel Hill, listen, you come to us, we're gonna make sure you stay healthy. You're gonna make sure your NBA future is protected. And if you don't believe us, look at what happened with Caleb Wilson. We were extra cautious. We made sure he got back. So it's for this season's outlook for UNC. It's a brutal blow, and there's really no way around it. Anything you'd like to add about Caleb Wilson? I know I just kind of went on a nice little monologue there.
Just it's tough timing for right. Like you had a severe injury for Seth Trimble earlier in the year, but he was able to come back because it happened so early on, and he's been able to play in conference play and against these big matchups. Caleb Wilson goes out with 7 games left in the regular season. They got some tough games left. They got 5 games left against teams that are comfortably in, or 4 teams that are like comfortably in the tournament, and Virginia Tech's on the bubble as well. They got to go to Syracuse. It's not an easy stretch of games to be missing your best player, so they're going to have to make some big adjustments to try to make the most out of this stretch and not end up dropping seeding and making sure they're in a good position for the postseason.
You want to know what would be an absolute team I would not want to see the first weekend of the NCAA tournament? Like the
second day, you mean, like after the play-ins?
Yeah, exactly. The first.
So like the guys that went on Tuesday.
I would not want to see like a 9-seed UNC that finished slow and dropped their seeding that has Caleb Wilson returning and healthy. It's just like, oh, we're playing a 4-seed and as a 9-seed? That's not fair.
Yeah, if you're like Virginia Tech, and it's the first day, it's all right, who do we got in this 8-9 game? Oh, we have Carolina, and Caleb Wilson just came back from injury, so he's actually feeling pretty fresh right now.
Yeah, that would be an all-time avoid that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, but Carolina would probably do everything they could to announce that he's healthy prior to Selection Sunday, if possible, because that would likely get them a better seed. That kind of stuff does impact, right? It's why sometimes injuries are hidden and they're announced the Monday after Selection Sunday because you don't want that player not being available to lower your seed.
Oh, I don't know why I thought we meant 8-9 like ACC tournament game instead of NCAA.
Oh, that wouldn't be
No, even more so than if you're one of those teams, you probably don't want to see a Carolina team with a
Okay, I get what you're saying. You were that's why you said Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
I was going. You're really into your bracketology.
No,
if you knew Virginia Tech would be sitting right
Virginia
there.
Tech is on the bubble though. Good win last night.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Now that we've got that sorted out, let's get some numbers game contestants because we have tickets to see Godsmack with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. If you want to play the numbers game and potentially win the tickets, call in now. We need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One thing you need to make sure with your motorcycle that you do is properly store your bike. If you have a garage, obviously keep it in there, but if you can't, make sure you keep it covered. Keep it out of the elements. We got a lot of moisture, got a lot of rain runoff. Take care of your motorcycle, and it will take care of you. But accidents, unfortunately, do happen, and this is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Law Tigers are part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, but most importantly, they know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation is always free with Law Tigers, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So make sure you contact them even before you contact the insurance companies, because insurance companies, they want to pay you the least amount possible. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call, or you can always visit them online, lawtigers.com. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Field makes their way into the tri-oval. The pace vehicle makes its way to the pit lane.
Writes another chapter.
Front of the field. Several cars go flying through the air. Ryan Preece is upside down.
In the history of the great American race.
William Byron wins the Daytona 500.
It's the Daytona 500.
Coverage begins Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on 99.9 The Fan.
SoundStation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know SoundStation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, SoundStation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. SoundStation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards going on this weekend. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and price to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale going on this weekend at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It's Heart Health Month. I'm Tim Donnelly here with Dr. Parikh from WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Doctor, can you take us through what exactly heart failure is and how common it is?
I think of myself more as a heart function doctor rather than a heart failure doctor. But heart failure, it can sound scary. It doesn't mean your heart is about to stop. It's a pumping problem. And so a heart can either be stiff and not fill properly, or it can be weaker and not pump properly. And really your body is not getting as much blood as it needs from the heart. It is somewhat common. So after age 40, 1 in 5 Americans will have heart failure at some point in their life. There's over 6 million people living with it in this country today. You really want to talk to your doctor about whether you're at risk for heart failure and if you should start screening for it, and really try to follow a heart-healthy lifestyle so you can prevent it from happening in the first place.
If you have any questions, you want to learn more about heart health, go to wakemed.org. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Jamie and Benson, as well as Scott and Willow Spring. They'll be battling it out with numbers game trivia to see who wins. Tickets to see Godsmack, as well as Stone Temple Pilots, and Dorothy at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. As always, we'll bring them both onto the show and ask them the same question. Max will be our judge for the day. He'll pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. We'll start with Jamie and Benson. Jamie, can you hear me? Jamie, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Ah, there you are. Jamie, the question for today is, the Winter Olympics are going on, right? And as we know, when the United States wins, they stand on the podium and they play our national anthem. I'm saying you can't play the national anthem. Matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be patriotic. Let's say you win some kind of sporting event. They put you on top of the podium and you get to pick any song in the world to play while you stand there accepting the trophy or the medal. What song are you playing?
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
All I do is win. I like it.
I don't know what the title is.
Well, I mean, if they're playing,
I believe it's All I Do Is Win.
All I do is win. Any follow-ups, Max?
Are you a Canes fan, Jamie?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I figured you might be with that choice.
It tracks. It could have said. Never mind. Let's go to. I don't want to give anything away because Scott and Willow Spring still has to go. Scott, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, same question to you. The Olympics are going on, and as we all know, right, if an American wins the gold medal, they stand on the podium, they play the national anthem. In this question, national anthem's off the board. It doesn't even have to be patriotic. It's whatever you want. In a separate non-Olympic sporting event, you win the gold, you win the trophy, you win first prize, and when you're standing up there, they say you get to play any song you want. What song are you playing as you accept your trophy?
Bringing Sexy Back.
I believe it's Sexy Back, but we knew what you were talking about. Locked in, Scott. We appreciate it. Are you rolling with Jamie and All I Do Is Win, little Kane's nod, or are you going with Scott, who's bringing Sexy Back?
He's bringing Sexy back. We'll go with Scott.
All right, Scott bringing Sexy Back. Can you imagine losing and then you have to sit there and watch your competitor
dancing around his Sexy Back at the top of the podium?
Oh, that's great. Scott gets to go first. Don't worry, Jamie. You will have your chance. Just have to stay on hold for a minute or two. Scott, are you ready to pick your category?
Yes, I am.
All right. The categories are NFL players, Panthers throughout history, NFL players with mid-February birthdays, NBA players, no jersey numbers lower than 30, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
We'll go with NFL players with mid-February birthdays.
Okay. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jerome Bettis, Pittsburgh Steelers.
34.
Incorrect. Darryl Green, Washington Redskins.
82.
Incorrect. Jerome Bettis, Pittsburgh Steelers.
33.
Incorrect. Darryl Green, Washington Redskins.
84.
Incorrect. Jerome Bettis, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pass.
Daryl Johnston, Dallas Cowboys.
84.
Incorrect. Darryl Green, Washington Redskins.
24.
Incorrect. Jerome Bettis, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, my.
You know, Scott, I hate to say it. I don't know if Sexy's coming back. I think Sexy might stay away. That was an offer. For those of you playing at home, Jerome Bettis, 36. Darryl Green, 28. Daryl Johnston, 48. Those were the numbers we were looking for. The good news for you is Sexy Back could still win it for you because a tie goes to whoever goes first, and you did go first. So stay on the line. We'll see if you sneak one away. But that's only if Jamie and Benson goes over. Jamie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL Panthers throughout history, NBA, no jersey numbers lower than 30, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go Panthers.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least one for the victory. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Adam Thielen, Carolina Panthers.
19.
Correct. Chris Winkie, Carolina Panthers.
Who?
Chris Winkie, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Sam Mills, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Can't pass.
17.
Incorrect. Donald Hayes, Carolina Panthers.
59.
Incorrect. Chris Winkie, Carolina Panthers.
9.
Incorrect. Sam Mills, Carolina Panthers.
44.
Well, you got enough for the win. I can't say it was pretty, but one is all you needed and one is what you got. So you did win. I don't know if all you do is win, but you did win.
How did I win that?
You only needed one, and you got it with Adam Thielen. You had some false starts there, but you didn't finish. 16, 19, 19. And you got it right. So congratulations. Stay on the line, and Max will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your tickets. Chris Winkie caught an all-time stray there. Just who? Chris Winkie was he was a dude. He was a pretty high draft pick, and he was with him for 4 or 5 years. Also was, I think, a national champion quarterback. He's coach for Georgia Tech now. I don't know. It just seemed kind of brutal. Who? Who is? Huh? Chris Winkie, Florida State. Baseball. He was actually a 4th-round pick. I just looked it up. Not as high as I remembered. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that plays the numbers game. Even if we have some fun with your answers, it's always in jest and in good fun. When we come back, it's me versus Max. We're drafting storylines. Don't go anywhere. It's coming up next.
Listen for the Get That Out of Here's.
Oh, volleyball by Brown. Wow, what a defensive play.
The deep looks from downtown.
McNeil up top. Three-pointer. Right away. Got it. Hand in his face. Oh, McNeil is white hot.
Did he just do that?
Volleyball off the window and in! Cameron Boozer taking over!
The road to Indianapolis runs through 99.9. The Fan, driven by Strategic Tax Resolution, Fairway Green, and Wink Med.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Bailey's Fine Jewelry makes it easy for you to find the perfect gift for the one you love. Bailey's has something for everyone and every budget. They have a huge selection of jewelry and gifts, highly sought after pieces from David Yurman, Hippolyta, Lagos, and Bailey's collections, as well as an impressive array of diamond jewelry. Visit Bailey's in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte, or at baileybox.com.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
I'm Neil, founder of Clay Room. When I found ceramics, I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative. So I set out to open my own studio. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow it and bring people together. Now we're molding a creative community.
With the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
If you're exhausted, not just tired, but worn down, this message is for you. I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Across North Carolina, many people wait months, sometimes over a year, just to start sleep care. That wait isn't normal, and it isn't necessary. At Parkway, most patients are seen within weeks, with virtual consultations and home sleep studies that remove unnecessary delays. Sleep care shouldn't have to depend on how long you're willing to wait.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons with Chapel Hill Tire. Great teams win because of preparation. Your car works the same way. Regular automotive service keeps everything running strong, from oil changes and brakes to alignments and inspections. It's how you avoid breakdowns and stay confident behind the wheel. At Chapel Hill Tire, our ASC certified technicians focus on the fundamentals that keep your car in the game all season long. Smart maintenance, trusted advice, work done right. With 13 locations across the Triangle, great service is always nearby. Schedule your appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts.
It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Michael McDonald on the way out.
This would be my song if you
This
had
is
to
what
pick a
you would
personal
play?
anthem on the podium.
So you win some athletic event, buzzer beater, still covered in mud and sweat and hard work. You walk up to the top of the podium, parents in the stands, proud of you.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Hit it right here.
That might be worse. That might be worse.
Than what?
Than like a sexy backer and all I do is win, or something that's more like on the nose, like I'm gloating. Like if you just go up there and hit Michael McDonald, I might be like, oh man, this guy's he's out there on a yacht somewhere. He's not even taking me seriously. I don't know. Maybe I'd go the Macarena so I could dance. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I don't think that would play very well, but I'd be up there doing it by myself. I'm the winner. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I had fun earlier today when Max and I drafted goal scorers, although we ended up tying 1-1, correct?
It would appear so.
All right, so that's worse. So let's solve this, and perhaps we'll let the people decide somehow, some way. We're drafting 5 rounds, and you can make, a 30-second pitch for each of your picks. 5 rounds of the biggest storylines. I'm calling it the first half of the Carolina Hurricanes season, even though we know it's a little past the halfway point, first 2/3, whatever. For best storylines, biggest storylines, what defined the first half of the Carolina Hurricanes season. With 5, do you think we go snake draft? Or do you want to go back?
Yeah, we should go snake for 5.
That's
3 was a little short for it, but 5.
It's up to you.
It makes it
it's
fair.
up to you.
But I feel like I should go first since you drafted first last time.
Go for it.
Brandon Bussey.
Fair.
Period.
Well, I mean,
need I say more?
I mean, if you want to, is
23 wins in his first 27 starts, second in the NHL among qualified goaltenders and goals against average, and has made save after save, keeping them in games where, if they get away from the Canes style and they're not dominating the shots and they're maybe facing more than they should, he's been there and he's been solid as a rock. And even if he's out of position, he'll somehow scramble and make a crazy save and deny, like, for example, Tage Thompson, one of the best goal scorers in the NHL. Flash the glove, flash the leather to keep a one-goal game, and stolen the Canes a couple wins already this year. So Brandon Bussey, I mean, it's hard to overlook him as one of the biggest, if not the biggest storyline of the season.
Fine. You can have Brandon Bussey. Definitely wasn't number 1 on my board. So I have 2 now, correct?
Yeah, you get 2 back-to-back.
All right. I'm going to take the more optimistic one perhaps first, and then I'll take the more rough one second. Give me the Andrei Svechnikov heater for my first round pick. The last 45 games for Andrei Svechnikov, to me, has been as important for them being where they are in the standings as anything. Scoring a bunch of goals, doing a bunch of good things. So give me Svech on the heater. And next up, for my second round pick, I'm taking Logan Stankoven, mixed results, second line center. I mean, you can't talk about trades. You can't talk about Ehlers. You can't talk about Jordan Staal. You can't talk about so many things without somehow relating it back to Logan Stankoven, mixed results, second line center. So that's what I'm rolling with.
Would major injuries just be? Is that qualify?
No.
All right, I'll start with Slavin missing basically the entire first half of the season. The Jacob Slavin injury.
Thought you were just going to take injuries?
Well, I mean, it was a big storyline, but I guess
everything from Slavin missing half a year to Charles Alexis Legault slicing his hand, you were just going to get.
Well, okay. Well, all right. But so Slavin, I mean, he got injured in the second game of the year. It didn't even seem like there was any kind of big play or moment where it happened. He just kind of got benched at the end of the third period, and we never got really a timetable. It didn't seem like it was that serious of an injury, and then all of a sudden a lot of time went by and he didn't play. Now, the Canes played really well in his absence, but that missing presence on the blue line was definitely a big factor for a long time. And then I'll go with the continued development of Alexander Nikishin, getting increased ice time. Obviously, because of that injury, that was a part in that of his increasing role. And we're seeing him, develop in the NHL before our eyes. We saw the epic fight he had in the Blackhawks game with Oliver Moore, where he knocked him out in like 4 punches and just kind of shrugged him off. So he's like one of my favorite players to watch, basically in the history of watching the Canes. So the development of Alexander Nikishin, that'll be my third pick.
I'm going to have some really good honorable mentions here because I only have 3 more picks and I've got way more than 3 that I want. I'm taking Jordan Staal, power play, and goals scored. Jordan Staal being on pace for 23 goals or whatever he is, and also him being the catalyst that sparks a power play that was just awful. He goes in there and now they're like almost 28%, something crazy like that with him in there. It's the continued development of Jordan Staal at 36 or however old he is. So that's my third round pick. Now my fourth round on the bounce back. A lot of options here. I'm going to go with Give me Kokaniemi trade rumors. It's been not just this season, but how many seasons is that talked about one of the stories, whether it happens or not. It's always right there. Every time he's a healthy scratch, every time he's in there and plays well, every time he's in there and doesn't play well, every time a star is traded, it's Kokaniemi trade rumors. So give me Kokaniemi trade rumors.
That's fair. They are rampant. It's hard to kind of quantify this, but everybody who's watched the Canes will understand what I'm talking about. The December to January Florida Panthers arc, where they blew third period leads in 2 games. It was really 3 games in a row. There was a Lightning game in there as well, where they were up 3 and lost the lead and lost the game. And then in January, when the Panthers returned to Raleigh to beat them 9-1, it really felt like they were exercising some demons against a team that they were struggling to beat. Now, they have been battered by some injuries this year, but it's nevertheless felt very good to just hang all those goals on them at the end of the game and just dominate them in that fashion. And then for my last pick, I will go with just the second line center trade discussion. Like, who are they looking at? Who might they target? Will they get Robert Thomas? Will they try to trade for Nazem Kadri or Vincent Trocheck? It's just everybody has their own theories. Everybody has their own idea of what players should or could be traded for. A lot of people are delusional in that regard. You know who you are. You probably don't, actually, but
Kokaniemi and Nadeau can get you anybody in the league.
McDavid for Kokaniemi and a first, no.
A first-round pick in Bradley Nadeau to some people is $1 billion.
Might as well be gold. But it's fun. All the hypotheticals, and everybody has their own ideas of how they can approach it and how they can add to this team, which is already very good. So that'll be my final pick of the storyline draft.
You're more optimistic. You're calling it the Panthers arc and including the 9-1 victory on the bounce back. I did have as one of mine the Florida collapse span where they multiple goal leads and collapse every time they were in Florida for a week. I'm gonna just take the new guys settle in, Ehlers and Miller. For a while there, everything those two guys did felt like a complete discussion about them as Ehlers doesn't have a goal for X amount of games. Oh, what a waste. He goes on a heater. Oh, he's the best player ever. Miller gets hurt. What are they doing? Miller has 2 goals in his first game. Place goes wild. There was the Ehlers-Miller arc is where I'm going with that. What else is on your board? I'm curious.
I was winging that.
Oh, really?
Off the dome.
The fact that Gostisbehere being a darn near point per game
defenseman gets over. There's so many things on this team. They're so good that a lot of aspects get overlooked.
You had Nikishin's development. I put Nikishin being a healthy scratch when they just chose not to play.
I guess that was a storyline, but it was just kind of I thought that was overblown. Young player getting a healthy scratch, happens.
In the middle of
it's not like a Mishkov thing in Philly.
True. Charles Alexis Legault and Joel Nystrom seizing an opportunity. Seth Jarvis doesn't and then does make Team Canada. Tom Dundon bought the Blazers
that did happen. Jarvis crashing into the net.
And there's a billion different options we could have gone with, but I definitely won. Up next, we have Wolfpack Weekly with Will Wade. 5 W's. NC State getting some insight into whatever that Louisville game was. Stick around for that coming up next. We'll be back to wrap up the week the right way tomorrow. So be sure to be here at 3 o'clock for more of The Drive. In the meantime, subscribe to us on YouTube. Download the 99.9 The Fan app. We are constantly putting out a ton of content there. Enjoy Michael McDonald. See you tomorrow, everybody.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through